So then I says, you tell me that doesn't look like roast beef. All right. So welcome to.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
Yep. Welcome to Enter Tournament of Champions podcast. We're sorry. Just pre-apologizing for anything that we say.
Just at the top of the show, I'm sorry.
2019, we're
if we offended anybody for anything that's about to happen in the show and for old tweets. All right. I'm Jeff.
Especially my old tweets. Go check them out.
Yeah, Kyle at Kyle Neely totally has a Twitter. .org/gov because that's totally how they're stylized.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Jeff. I'm joined by, as always, by Kyle and JD. One of them is snowed in. The other one is not.
Yeah, it's true.
Leave that open to interpretation, like a Lynch movie. All right. So this week we're talking about. We're still doing our top 10 from last year, and this week we're talking about. Last week we did games, and this week we're doing TV, TEV, for short. That's not correct at all. The shows that aired new seasons last year, basically, we're ranking those. Just doing our typical top 10 where each of us take a turn. And I would have the order up if I was a responsible host / producer / whatever my title is. I think I also need to pull up the fucking, what's it called? The song.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that song.
It's Dave Matthews' Crash Into Me. That's what we use, right?
Yeah, because that's
Crash.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, no, you know what? We got to push that one down. That one's Crash Into Me. It makes no sense. Like, sorry. That's for pushing, which I think if you haven't listened to the show before, you'll get the concept as soon as we start our list. So yeah, individually, one at a time, 10 through 1. We're going to stop before 1 and do our honorable mentions. Actually, before we even do that, I do have... I forgot to do this with games. I do have some shows that aren't going to be in my top whatever because they're terrible.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys watched any bad shows. I know we tend to avoid those.
I watched one, and I'm very mad at it.
Oh, really?
Fucking furious at it. You know.
What is it?
I'm pretty mad at House of Cards, man.
Oh,
that
wow.
last season was offensively
right.
Fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's a real travesty, aside from the actual travesty that caused the travesty.
Right. Obviously, there's
a series of travesties,
but just it is an objectively awful 12-hour whatever ride of bullshit. It's fucking awful. The only thing that I have lower on my list, and I didn't even watch it, is The Walking Dead, just because I know it was worse. Somehow,
there's no way.
I know
that it was better.
I buy it. Yeah, I buy that.
Go to Pee Pants City. All right, we didn't do that.
Pee Poo Poo Pants City.
Negan talks to people like I talk to my fucking 15-month-old nephew. Like, yeah, pee pee poo poo. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. In a radio show host voice, too.
Yeah, he's exactly like that.
My dishonorable mention, I guess that's the aptly titled category for this one, is Titans. I watched 3 episodes and noped out of that shit real quick.
It's CW with curse words, I heard.
Yeah, it's more or less just a CW soap opera show with superheroes, which is why I don't watch those shows or like them. I did. I used to watch them. I watched them for 2. I gave them both 2 seasons, Flash and Arrow.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode of Supergirl, and I was like, oh, this is the same shit as that other shit. And then I didn't even watch Legends of Tomorrow because, like, no.
Well, that was just like the leftovers.
Yeah.
Like all the extraneous pieces from the previous shows are like, those guys deserve their own show.
And they have another one too, right? Black Lightning, I think.
Black Lightning?
Which
yep.
I,
oh my
again,
God, it's too
heard
many.
Good things about, but not going to watch.
Yeah, you know what? I've also heard good things about all the bad ones that are currently airing.
I just mentioned, yeah. But yeah, Titans is literally that, but they say fuck a lot. And there's more
like
violence.
a lot? Like they overuse it because they're edgy?
It doesn't feel that way. Where they use it makes it feel edgy. Like when he says fuck Batman, you're like, why? Why did you say that?
It's so against the grain to me. Like, fuck Batman.
And a disqualified mention, because it doesn't really fit in any list, is the Sense8 series finale. I thought that wrapped things up really well.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That was
I like that real
epic.
I like that a lot.
That was an epic movie type situation. It was like 2.5 hours. It was totally worth the. Well, not worth being canceled over, but but it was totally like worth all the hype and stuff, and worth.
It was totally worth
over.
Friends being paid $100 million to be kept for sure.
Right. That's such horse shit. Oh, man.
I'm so fucking mad.
I don't have TV where I can literally watch any channel and have friends on, so I need it on Netflix now.
If you TV surf at any time during the day, I promise you a Friends episode is airing.
Yeah.
At any moment during the day on some channel somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there's one that's been winning awards, and I just want to say, fuck this show, The Kaminsky Method. I don't like it. Don't like
Good.
it. Not funny.
Good.
You guys watch a lot of bad. I watched almost 0 bad TV shows this year.
Yeah, you're good about avoiding shit. Very good about it.
I noped out of like Alone Together real quick, and AP Bio. I'm like, ooh boy, no, like these people, do not like these shows. So like 1-2 episodes in, I was just like, nah, I can't. I have too many cool things to do.
Kaminsky Method, for those that don't know, is a Netflix show. It won at the Golden Globes for like best comedy or whatever. Michael Douglas won for best actor. Scott, we got to go to the quantum zone, Scott.
Okay, I see. I was like, where's he going with that? I was like, no, okay, Ant-Man, I got you.
And I finished it because it was like one of those things where I didn't really have anything that I felt like watching. I was like, let's try a new thing, and I plowed through that real quick because it's 8 episodes and they're like half hours or whatever. And I like Michael Douglas is fine. I like him fine. Who's his partner in the show? His like partner in crime, I guess. Alan Alda, I think. Yeah, he's great. He's always fun to watch. I like him.
Okay.
But yeah, the humor is, I don't know. I feel pretty generous already calling it humor. It just doesn't land for me at all. It's a Chuck Lorre show who does Big Bang Theory and 2.5 Men, so that probably explains why it doesn't really land for me. Yeah. But all the praise, fuck out of here. Like, just giving it awards? Come the fuck on. Whatever. Yeah. It's fine. Yeah. We'll also mention some most anticipated shows for next year very briefly at the end of the episode. I mean, I have like a few to go through, but they're all like new shows. I couldn't even come up with a list of 10 to justify doing an episode.
Yeah.
Like a full episode for them like we normally do. So that's why we skipped that, and I think you guys couldn't either. You were just kind of like, I mean, you guys know I want to watch Game of Thrones again, so what's the point? Which sounds like it's going to be fucking epic, but we'll get to that. We'll name drop it at least at the end of the show. So yeah, starting us off, the order this week, I think I'm last, because if I'm not first, I'm last. That's not how it works here, but JD is first this time either, for not a gaming episode.
Man, it feels good.
Don't worry, I found a gaming one to put you first on.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate you.
And then it's Kyle, and then it's me. So yeah, I'm definitely last. Right. I'm last with my underwhelming number one that nobody has seen on the show, so I can't wait. You guys already know what it is. You
already know what our correct number one is.
Okay,
so.
sure.
Yeah, right. I hope so.
Sure.
All right.
Well, I'll probably end up, since we do honorable mentions as a break, I'll just talk about my number one first anyway. Then, in that case. So, yeah. JD, what's your number 10?
All right, man. I really like this show. You guys turned me on to Barry on HBO, so I put that in.
Let me cue the song.
A little bit of a push. Yeah.
A little bit of the fuck out of that song.
Figured
push
it would.
Got Yoda from Attack of the Clones.
This one's crazy.
Yoda, yeah.
From Attack of the Clones.
She looked like she just realized she was pregnant.
Oh shit! I love that. You look like Jabba the Hutt dying. Oh my god! Kyle, what's your number 10?
I know you guys are gonna have this on your list. It's Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah.
Is that a push, guys?
That's
a push.
Yeah. That's my number 3, man. It's like
okay, fuck like you guys. You guys, I think I talked about this already on this podcast. This show makes me feel like a kid again. Like every Sunday would come up, or Saturday night, depending on how quick the episode would load up, where I would totally legally watch it, and it was awesome. And I had other roommates watching it, and we would all just be giggling like little teenagers while we were watching it. Multiple moments where I would stand up and cheer and scream because Goku would do something cool, and I don't even really like Goku. It's just Dragon Ball, man.
Like
I'm just there for the ride. Yeah, like your dog, yeah.
Saying you don't like my dog? Is that what you're trying to say? What did my dog do to you?
He's always just like yipping and stuff like. No, it's totally fine. The Dragon Ball Super is just a lot of fun, and I don't want to dwell on that. We got a lot of shows that we're going to be like probably dwelling on, but this is just a lot of fun for me, and I'm seeing the movie like in theaters like in a couple days, and I'm on that hype train. So I had to put it in.
If I'm not mistaken, that showing is sold out too, right?
Yeah.
So it's not for lack of popularity, that's for sure.
Bunch of neckbeards will be there, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's not like you're not justified for putting it on your list at all.
Right.
Because clearly there are fans.
Bigger than ever.
Clearly they're adult dudes.
Dragon Ball's bigger than ever. It's bigger than it's ever been. It's insane. Like my teenage brain wouldn't be able to wrap around. It's just like, hey, when you're an adult, Dragon Ball's going to be the biggest thing in the entire world. It's like, what? All right. It's huge. Kids love it. It's cross-generational. People love it, man.
Hell yeah. It's all about the Dragon Balls. All right. So
that's Paperboy singing Dragon Ball.
So my number 10, I'd be surprised if this isn't a push, but if it isn't, I also wouldn't be surprised. All right, so my number 10 is Glow. Nothing?
Ooh, it's my 11, man.
Y'all fucking omitted Glow. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. It deserves to be on there. I had to put on Cucky Dragon Ball,
That's true. I guess this was my cuck
Dragon
show.
Ball Cuck,
So. This is my cuck show because, women are starring in it.
No,
so
it was in my list for the longest time. I'm bummed, that there was so much good TV this year, I guess.
Yeah, there was way too much. And for anybody that I think I've already mentioned this on the show before, but TV, there's way too much of it. So we're gonna have some shows that you're like, why didn't you bring that up? Well, there's a lot of fucking shows.
There's shows on here that I'm very mad that I couldn't get on here.
Right.
So I'll be apologizing.
You mentioned how you were like, can I just do 15 or whatever?
Yeah.
I can't narrow this down. It's fucking impossible. But yeah, Glow is my 10 specifically because I don't know. I know it's just one episode, but episode 8, where it's literally an episode of the show Glow, like it is from the 80s,
right?
Elevated the season to such greater heights. Even though I was still wrapped up in all the drama between all the, especially the two leads and stuff like that. Will they reconcile? Won't they? And Mark Maron's arc in the show. I was wrapped up in all that just fine, but the fact that they bothered to put that in there and do it so fucking well and pay homage to that show the way it originally was. Yeah, that definitely earned it its 10 spot for me. And also, I'm speaking of cuckery, I'm a wrestling cuck, so this is obviously there's a bias towards putting it in my 10, so I shouldn't be surprised if nobody else has it in their 10. It's like, oh, well, fucking duh, I'm the wrestling guy. And yeah, they continued that trend of putting in more wrestlers. Not as many as season 1, but Chavo showed up at the end. They had a legit match with calling spots to each other in the finale, where they filmed in. No, the cliffhanger was spoilers, I guess. The cliffhanger was they're going to Vegas, right, and doing a Vegas act for it, which is awesome. Can't wait for the show to go there.
Yeah.
But I think they were doing a taping or something like that, and Chavo was doing a match with. Maybe there was the episode before that where they started doing matches with the guys, because the guys were legit mad that they were stealing moves for a second, and then they were like, "No, it'd benefit us both to work together," which is a real thing in wrestling. You can have beef and then be like, you know what, we're gonna make money together. That's what we're gonna do, and you just decide to suddenly, I don't trust each other with your lives in the fucking ring together to appease the crowd and make money. People like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels did it for fucking years. And they put on quality, the best ever matches in WWF at the time, and holy shit, they hated each other's guts, and they probably still do to a certain degree today, even if they pretend not to. But irregardless, if you want to be correct about it, because it's not correct at all.
I was gonna say, I was like, so many people are like, did he correct to the wrong thing?
Heart's in the right place, man.
I'm sorry. Irrelevant.
Oh,
it's
God.
Just adding more.
I'm a horrible grammar and spelling person, and my brain was just like, what the fuck?
How did you even... All right.
Aneurysm.
But yeah, I love watching them call spots in the ring, because that's how matches go sometimes when you're doing it on the fly and you want to either extend a match or you just don't rehearse it before time. You tend to, with somebody that's a veteran, like John Cena just tends to go into the ring and call spots. Sometimes he does it loudly. That's a thing that people call him out on YouTube and Twitter and stuff. But he's just whispering in his opponent's ears, here's what we should do next. And he's kind of more or less the hand holder of a match nowadays, especially with the younger guys. It's just, that's cool to see in a show, because that's how they fucking do it for real, the veterans. Also, I love watching Allison Bree's Instagram for a number of reasons, but the coolest reason is you see her training in the ring and doing bumps, and she did something the other day training for season 3 where it was a legit wrestling move, and I can't remember what it was. It might have just been one of the off the top rope type of jumps, and she did it, and she got up and like it was super excited about it. And I'm like, these actresses, these girls, like are getting really excited about wrestling too, and I just love it, man. I love passing on the torch of love and wrestling. Love it. So that's my number 10. So JD, what's your number 9?
Oh, back around. That was quick.
Sorry.
I don't know where this one landed for y'all. I don't know if it's stuck on a 10. I put Legion at number 9.
Yeah, I'm gonna push that.
Oh, okay.
Hard.
Fucking shit.
All the way off the cliff.
Cool.
So Kyle, what's your number 9
talk
then?
about nothing.
My number 9 might be a push. I don't know. It's American Vandal season 2.
Yeah, we're pushing the fuck out of that. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Excuse me.
Jesus Christ.
Obviously, I didn't find it funny or good.
Those kids had to deal with shit trauma, okay? Take a little more seriously, Kyle.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was very serious.
My number 9, again, could be a push. It's Daredevil.
Push.
Oh,
No.
wow. All right. Okay.
It's on men for me. Hard
This
on
song
men.
is just gonna... I'm just gonna play the rest of it. I'm just kidding. That'd be funny. Like, well, I don't talk for like 4 minutes, and you guys are like, Jeff, what's going on? I'm playing the song.
No, the whole thing.
The whole thing. So my number. I'm not next. Sorry, JD. What's your number 8? Fuck you guys. Here's my list.
Fuck you guys. I put the Mom show at number 8. Mom.
Oh,
Come on,
Bodyguard.
Yeah, take
Good.
Mom.
You got it,
excuse me,
Mom.
Mom. They're coming after me, Mom. They're coming after me. Anyway,
Mom,
Bodyguard.
I'm out here on the battlefield. Oh, sorry.
Of the battlefield.
That probably would have been like
the king of the north.
pick a spot from like 11 to 13. It would have been in there somewhere.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
It's probably like 11 for me. That
Yeah.
show, go ahead.
I had watched a couple other shows that would be in my top 10. Like, I never finished Maniac because I'm a fucking idiot for some reason. Y'all
God!
yeah, I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah, it won't come up again this episode.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So I had room for it, fortunately, and I'm glad because this was great. This was 6 hours of just nonstop fucking action, and I don't know, man. Like the way that it builds up, just everything in that final episode, it was riveting. I was on the edge of my seat for almost the entirety of it. And Mom accents aside, man. I mean, this guy, I think he's getting a lot of praise, right? Richard Matt.
He just won a.
Did he get a Golden Globe?
Yeah, he did because this show it's not a miniseries. So yeah, it's definitely in the best drama category.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won the best drama actor
Good,
at
man.
the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
Which those awards don't matter, but it's still cool.
No, it's still cool, especially
cool.
for like a guy that you kind of figure you might see in that one role, and then you'll never see him again.
Yeah, like
elsewhere.
you're like, oh, that's Rob Stark.
That's
And
Rob
it's
Stark.
only
Right when I
Rob
saw it, I was
Stark.
like, did you hear about this Stark boy getting another show? You know, like I was like, I never thought that was gonna happen.
Yeah,
Not that he was a bad
cool.
character. It just, it's not like just didn't think he would stand out or
Look,
anything.
man, he's just too attract that jawline. You can't not put that on TV.
Yeah, right. I want you to
yeah, man.
really dive into that accent too. Like really.
Mom.
The battlefield.
I got there's bombs out here on the battlefield.
That's right. He was the one that said it weird. It would have been funny if like
It's
Jon Snow says it weird
Jon
too.
Snow.
it would be so funny if like one character like spent like a good like they diverted the dialogue to where like one of them was like battle. Like one of them was like you're saying that funny. It's battle.
Yeah.
It's like a Seinfeld fucking episode breaks out. Like Game of Thrones.
That's great.
Well, you're saying it weird. It's battle. What are you doing?
What's the deal with people saying battlefield?
Fuck.
Isn't that crazy?
That one thing aside, which he does say a fucking lot because,
It is a lot, man.
he
Because he's
reports to
respectful as fuck. Yeah,
many
he's
women
not
in the show.
superior.
It'd be saying like sir or ma'am,
Yeah.
like that's you'd be saying it that many times too, but it's just like we're American, so we think it's weird,
But yeah, aside from that one thing that like it doesn't deserve to be hammered on for that. That's just something goofy we've all picked up on
That's
over
what
the
we
last
do. We latch
weeks.
on to silly shit. Yeah.
Yeah, we focus
culturally
on one
insensitive. I'm sorry.
mundane aspect that's totally culturally insensitive and just ride with it. It's beautiful. But yeah, man, I think we all got the same feeling from the show. Like it was just breakneck, and I appreciated it being like 6 episodes with no fluff. It didn't feel like it had any fluff at all.
Not at all.
It was a fucking ride, and even by the time it was all wrapped up, I was like, "Wait, so was everybody the bad guy?" Or
Yeah. That's the impression I got.
So it's appropriately complex too in terms of
yeah.
its like backstabbings and like the layers and levels of backstabbing, like because some backstabbings are not as important or big as others, you know.
Right,
so it's but yeah, get ready for just to be like, so like who's good? Like I don't understand, who am I cheering for here? Like,
yeah, you're not even sure if the main character is good at all. Right. Like they really lean into that.
They do. Yeah.
They really, really did. I thought it was
clearly
great.
dealing with some issues, and
yeah,
he makes questionable decisions at times. That's for sure.
He does. Yeah.
That's what happens when you have good writers that write complex characters instead of just one note, whatever the fuck. Try hard, complex characters like Titans. That's the only show I can think of that's bad. That did it bad. You know what I mean? Like,
fuck Batman.
Fuck. Did I say fuck?
Did I say it already?
My
fuck
bad.
Batman, fuck.
Fuck that guy.
You're saying fuck too many times there, Robin. Fucking fuck Batman, you fucker. Fuck.
I would have given the show actual respect if it like leaned way too hard into it to where it was like comical.
All right.
Or like they go one episode without saying it at all, and like the credits roll, they stop. He comes out like, "Hey, by the way, fuck these credits," and then because you think you gotten through one without one, and then they just blindside you. That'd be great.
Cue Danny Elfman's, like Batman theme right after that. It's
oh
like,
God!
Can I say the F word now? I'm gonna say the F word. Sorry. I'm doing the whole Danny. Sorry. Anyway, there's a whole show about the N word. I'm not going to say the N word, guys. Calm down. It's from the show.
Don't do it.
It's from the show.
It's Always Sunny. So
even I'm like, dude, don't say that. Like,
dude, don't even say N word. That's just
don't even allude to it.
Don't even say the phrase N word. That's just too.
We'll get plenty. Look,
it's a good thing I apologized at the top.
I'm
sure. Yeah,
glad
you
we got that out of the way. Yeah.
Got this all out of the way.
Remember the amnesty? We're covered by that. On the top, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just I wanted to remand everybody.
Yeah, that's really smart.
That it's covered that we're in
Champions podcast. We're sorry
that we, like.
I'm gonna get with legal and see if they're on board with this. Hold on one second. Let me get. Yeah, they're good. Yeah, we're good. We're covered.
Okay,
thumbs up. Yeah, I saw them. Yeah.
What? Kyle, what's your number 8? I was like, who just went? Short-term memory fail. Kyle, yeah, what's your number 8?
Doubt it made either list, but I have Kidding at number 8.
Kidding,
man,
kidding,
cool.
Just kidding.
I'm kidding. I didn't have that. I hated it. No. Man, yeah, Jim Carrey did a really good job in this show, and it's very Death to Smoochie to me.
Oh yeah,
did you get that vibe?
Good point. Yeah, I got that vibe big time.
Big time. Okay, cool. Yeah, I big because it's about like a kid show, and all this dark, horrible shit is going on around it. It's the same exact kind of like that's the template. But like outside of that, that's the only similarities like the show shares, other than just kind of being dark and being about the mental downfall of this character, and it's got a kind of an interesting ending. I don't want to spoil it because I think JD, you're still watching it, right? I'm
still, yeah. I just started it.
Heard of it or seen it because it's on Showtime.
I shouldn't have been surprised by the thing at the end, but I was.
I was too. I was still like, either. I was like,
no, he'll be fine.
Yeah, it was building. Anyways, it's still surprising. So whatever you think is gonna happen, it's probably not. Anyways, I really enjoyed it. You can tell this part was like close to Jim. He always picks parts that are like it's something he can relate to, or something that's like he can identify with.
Yeah, like Mr. Popper's penguins, clearly.
Absolutely, yeah. He obviously loves penguins. That's the whole point.
Sorry, anyways, I didn't mean to pick that one role.
No, right. It's probably like that.
No, I think now he's at the point in his career where he's not making those 2008 decisions where it's right. I'm going to do Yes Man or whatever, and you're like, all right, Jim,
exactly.
whatever.
And he just came out of the other end of like a kind of a not a mental breakdown, but like a public metamorphosis, mental metamorphosis, if you will. So you could tell this is like really close to him or whatever, and he plays it really well, and everybody plays it really well, and there's a lot of familiar faces in here.
Frank Langella or whatever his name is, his dad.
Yeah, his dad.
Catherine Keener from talk about Eternal Sunshine reunion right there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
I can't even remember who else is in it. Judy Greer, and
Judy Greer.
He is very generous in the show. Let me just say that. He's very generous.
Very generous. A couple times generous, I would say.
You guys know what I'm talking about? Hey, all right, hey.
Once you see them, they will not be the last time you see them, by the way.
Yeah.
Sweet, man. This is awesome.
Talking about her acting talents.
Anyways,
yeah. I really like the whole show. It's very, very good. It takes you to some place. It gets real, and then it's funny again, and and then it gets really real again, and then it gets scary. You're like, what the fuck? Like, you're really afraid of what's about to happen. It takes you for an emotional ride, and like I felt like at the end of every episode, I was ready to watch the next one. I think I knocked it out in 2 evenings, so it's worth it. Yeah, check it out
for sure. I agree with that. My number 8 is definitely not going to be on anybody's list. I decided to put documentaries on both of my lists this year. This one and for movies and for games, obviously, because there's a game. No, there's not documentary for games.
Mm-hmm. Could you imagine playing a documentary video game?
Yeah, what the fuck would that even be? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know.
You get back to me on it, though. Yeah.
But this one is a Netflix. My first 4 are Netflix series, by the way. It's crazy. Anyway, this one's a Netflix series. It's called Dirty Money, and it's 6 episodes long, and each episode focuses on, corporations and how they get away with fuckery because they're rich. And some of them are more intriguing than others. The last episode focuses on Trump, which is unsurprising, but even then they tell you things that you don't realize, and then you're like, well, how the fuck did he become president then? Like, just at the end of it, you're like, what? How the fuck? We knew all this. It's fucking wild. But there's some episodes in there too that are like really interesting. Like I think the 5th episode is focuses on the molasses game in Canada, basically, and how that's really ultimately run by like one corporation and what they do to ensure that they are the conglomerate of fucking maple syrup. That's their big fucking thing in Canada, maple syrup. It's totally a cliche that they make fun of in How I Met Your Mother, but it's fucking real, man. There's like a federation that specifically helps, it kind of links producers of maple syrup, like whatever farmers that do it. And if you're like an independent person that makes maple syrup, this company will go in there and like weed you out and make sure that you join the federation. And if not, you're out of business, more or less. Yeah, there's other shit that they talk about with like the payday loans. Remember those loans were like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
JD
deal with
knows
the repercussions of fucking idiot customers who do that shit.
Exactly. So there's episode 2 focuses on that. That one is about the guy who kind of led the charge, who was like a race car driver and suddenly decided to become a entrepreneur with the payday loans company, which totally got caught for horrible business etiquette. Like they, just kind of like doing really, really shady deals and phrasing their documents a certain way so customers would sign and not realize that they owe like whatever 200% of their loan back or whatever the fuck.
It's insanity.
Yeah,
right?
I know. And the people that they played the phone calls of customers that would call customer support, and customer support would like lay it out to them like the customer was the idiot,
Yeah.
And it's like it's so. All of this is the right kind of infuriating. Like the show is meant to kind of make you go, "Fucking corporations, can you believe this shit?" And it works. It totally fucking works. And it's just wild. And the HSBC money laundering they money laundered for terrorist organizations and cartels. I don't think they did it like, and this is what the episode covers. I don't think they did it like willingly. They just turned the other. They had no problems turning the other cheek. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, oh, you want to money launder? All right, well, I'm gonna put a blindfold on. You do what you gotta do, or whatever. Like, and they got totally fucking hammered by. With fines for it, but I'm pretty sure they're still in business and nobody's in jail over it. That's at the end of the day, every single episode is like nobody's in jail for this, and you're like, motherfucker. Yeah, I love it though. It's from Alex Gibney, who did. Pretty sure this is the same guy who did Going Clear, which I absolutely love. So he does documentaries.
Me too. Oh my gosh.
He does documentaries in a way that just lays it out for you, like in a way that you can not just understand, but be enthralled by it. And that's why I love this series so much. He did 0 Days too, which is about a computer virus that like took down like an entire country or whatever. And that sounds incredibly boring. Like, but it's just like 2 hours and I'm fucking enthralled the entire time. It's crazy. Yeah, I love this show, man. So JD, what's your number 7?
This is probably the most cheery show on my list. It's very happy and upbeat. I put Sharp Objects at number 7.
Wow, God.
Yeah, man. Just talk
what
about
the
feel good. Yeah, what a hoot. Amy Adams is a joy.
Yeah, she delivers the yucks big time.
So many laughs out of this one. And no, I'm kidding. This show is bleak and dark and depressing, and you will need to take like 5 showers after every episode to feel clean again. It's great though. I mean, it's like the quality of the show at what it is fantastic. It's just you're dealing with a very, very depressed individual that's going through some shit, and she is dark, like too dark, too edgy for me. I think I don't know if I could be around a person like her in real life, even though she's Amy Adams. She's still gorgeous.
Sign me up.
Yeah, sign me right the fuck up. Damage.
I'll
my
try.
way.
I'll do it. But man, I mean, I think she can outdrink me, and that's scary. That terrifies me.
I like how she switches vodka and puts it in like Aquafina bottles and stuff like that.
She puts it in like one of those like mineral water bottles. And
right. Yeah, smart water or something like that.
Jesus, you are a hot mess.
Yeah.
And
I'll never. That's one of the best TV endings like of 2018.
Oh, it's so good.
So satisfying.
Stick around for the credits.
Yeah, it's fucking wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got chills about that fucking credit scene, man. Holy shit!
Time.
I wasn't thinking about that at all.
Just the way that they did,
and I'm not going to ruin anything here, but just going like when it's zooming out in on when it's zooming in on, I'm just like, are those fucking what I think those are? You know, I'm just it's just. And it just takes you a second because it's like, why is this lingering here?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, the director of the show is like a very visual storyteller. He's not like going to paint anything to you through dialogue. And I think the stuff during the end credits too in the final episode is indicative of that because it's just flashes. You know what I mean? And you're like,
right.
Oh, that's all I need to see. Like, I get it.
Wow.
I get it.
Well, they talk about how brutal the murders are the entire show.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like the picture is very much painted by the time some reveals start happening. Kind of
right.
These
aren't just killing.
Literally in the 11th hour. So of the.
Don't get me wrong. Her. Sorry to even drop a hint because it is kind of a spoiler for everybody, but the mother is fucking fucked up. Like, I mean, yeah, definitely she's got problems. Put her in a psych ward or whatever.
Yeah.
But,
Oh yeah.
Time.
But yeah, that reveal stuff is.
She won something, didn't she? Didn't she win a Golden Globe?
I don't think so.
Did you?
I don't think she did. I don't think anybody did for Sharp Objects because.
Really?
Yeah, people had their.
Did she get nominated?
People had their heart on for Gianni Versace that show. So.
That's right. Yeah. That one won.
Which is a good show, but some episodes are better than others because it just didn't have a lot of story to tell, in my opinion. So it kind of lingered on stuff that was like, didn't I just see this? You know what I mean? Like I just saw this murder. Like this guy only killed like six. This guy only killed like 6 people, but you're stretching it out over 9 episodes. It's like I know how it ends. So
yeah, this one didn't grab me like the O.J. Simpson one did. Like,
no, yeah, O.J. was just nonstop.
O.J.'s one of those things like I could revisit once a year.
Yeah,
and like always still be entertained by it because it's so fascinating.
Especially the way Ross says juice.
Juice.
Come on, juice.
Come on.
I can hear
that. Oh, guy! Hey, guess what? I'm gonna watch Friends after this because Netflix has. It's be fucking dope.
They better get their $100 million worth.
Yeah.
I think in the miniseries category, it was always going to go to Gianni Versace, and I think I'm trying to remember who else won. I know there was a show about a prison escape that Ben Stiller directed, another miniseries, and I think Patricia Arquette won for her role. And she's really good. I watched like 3 episodes of it. I haven't finished it yet, but she's really good in the show. Like she puts on an accent and stuff, changes her appearance, just totally inhabits a different human being. Really incredible stuff. But like I think she's the one that won instead of Amy Adams, and that still upsets me. Like what the fuck does Amy Adams have to do to win an award for fuck's sake?
Right. Yeah, just to get anything at all. Yeah. Like
she's just always like reliable. Amy Adams, shows up, does her job, gets nominated, gets nothing else. But and it's not like she needs validation, whatever. She's just gonna cry and her tears into money. So who cares?
Yeah,
sorry, that was your number something. 7?
That was my number 7 or some shit. So I hated it.
So you hate clearly, very clearly.
Yeah,
obviously,
absolutely.
we hate all of these except for number 1. We hate.
Yeah,
it's very clear.
Yep.
So the next Kyle, what's your 7th? Least favorite, whatever the fuck.
Speaking of things that you two obviously hate more than I hate, it's the show Love, season 3.
Oh yeah, I do hate that show.
I had that in 10 for such a long time.
No, you didn't, because it's not there now.
I genuinely did. It was like 7 or 6 or some shit for the longest time. I love.
It was up in my 5 for the longest time, and now it started getting bumped. I started looking at other shows, and I'm like, you're not new, Love. There's nothing new about you. You've been around for a couple years.
Yeah.
I love season 3 so much, man. I love how
the season 3 might be my favorite season. I mean, it's a nice. I mean, every single season is like a phase of their relationship, and the third one is very relatable. I think I lived every single experience in that show, in the third one specifically.
Yeah.
Because just awkward, trips back home to meet the parent, like all that shit, bringing girls home, going to girls' parents, like all that. It drudged up a lot of shit that I didn't want to think about. But in a good way, because that's what the show's supposed to do. Like, it just, you start imprinting and, like, evoking kind of your own experiences on the show. And it's, it just became a really emotional experience for me. And it was good. I really liked that show a lot. And every single season did that, where I was just like, boy, yeah, like, God, yeah, it reminds me that feelings exist and stuff like that. And, it's just a really good show, really relatable. Glad that it ended, didn't overstay its welcome. And you think it's going to end some way, and it feels really strange, and then it doesn't end that way, and you're like, okay, good. I don't know how you guys felt about the ending, but yeah, I remember just being like, oh, this is all really weird, and then it just kind of changes like right there at the end. You're just like, okay, good, all right, that's fine. That seems a little more appropriate.
Right. Yeah, I appreciated that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just. It's there, and I think it has been on here for the last few years just because of the relatability and just how well it's written and just the chemistry of of what's her face and what's his face. Don't make me do names right now.
Gus
and Mickey.
Power couple.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, great. And a great surrounding cast as well. Like great periphery cast. I really like all the friends. Everyone's really colorful and stuff like that. I just really love this show.
Yeah,
I love.
Her roommate's like adorable and stuff.
So adorable, yeah. The Australian girl, yeah, absolutely.
And the wrestling, they had a wrestling episode too.
Oh, they did.
I love that.
Right. Yeah, so of course, yeah.
I'd love that shit.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fine. You know what? The show's fine.
You know what? I hate it. I'm gonna actually put fucking Vikings on my list instead. Here we go.
I'm surprised it's not there. So.
I put it. It's been on my list in enough years.
Oh, okay. Well, good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, there's too many good new shit this year.
I forgot to write down y'all's picks just in case I don't know, feel like sharing them or whatever. And at some points, so I should start a fucking website for this. So it's like, hey, here's our picks from the blah blah blah.
Yeah,
but
immortalize it.
But just in case I miss a show or something like that, I forget. JD, we've already pushed 2 of yours. I can't remember which ones we pushed though.
Barry and Legion.
Legion. Kyle pushed that. That's right.
We won't get to Legion for a long time, so.
Oh, cool. Boy.
Good.
Oh, boy. Oh,
fucking good, man.
Oh,
I'm glad there's somebody weirder than me that likes that show for being fucking weird.
Yeah, the David Lynchian fan in me loves that show, where I'm just like, this doesn't make sense, but I'll make sense of it.
Yeah, that's actually all I'm hoping is that you understand it more than me, and you can tell me what the fuck
you're not going to get any answers from me. It's just going to be like, I really like how pretty it is.
Yeah.
Go watch a fucking YouTube video.
I like how the main character is a cat for or the second character, the girl, is like a cat for 2 episodes or whatever.
Yeah. I like how Aubrey Plaza seems to be 4 different people in this season. Whatever. All right.
Yeah. Whatever the hell that means, but I love it.
Sure. Yeah. Yep.
What was your number 9, Kyle? I can't remember.
American Vandal, and I got pushed because you guys like to laugh more than me or something. I don't know.
So never mind. Then what was number 8 then? I forget.
My number 8 was Kidding.
Oh, Kidding. That's right. Kidding.
Kidding.
Sorry, that's an old Kristen Wiig character when she would be on Weekend Update.
I'm just kidding.
And that would she would just constantly say like kidding, no, just kidding, and she would like keep saying shit like no, I'm just kidding, I'm a cat. No, I'm just kidding, I'm not a cat. I own a cat. No, I'm just kidding. Like, and she would just keep expanding on a joke and say that she's kidding. Yeah, that's what I think of when I see the title of the show. Sorry for that rant.
Sorry, not sorry.
Totally unnecessary. So my number 7 is Maniac.
Cool.
Pushing?
Okay.
No?
Yeah, we're pushing that hard.
Oh. Okay, you were so accepting
when
of
you
it.
earlier, earlier were like the top 4 are all Netflix shows for me. I was like, good, all right, so he's gonna have at least something right, and here we are.
No, I mean the first 4 in my list, like 10 through 7.
Okay, so you hate Netflix shows. I get it. Okay.
Yeah, no, there's one more. So 5 of my shows are Netflix shows. There's one more I have to mention.
None of them number 1 though, so you hate them. Okay.
Yes.
I got you. Yeah.
That is correct. Clearly don't like Netflix at all. It's a waste of a
we should all just cancel,
service.
you know?
Let's just cancel.
Rebel.
Or just get DVDs. Don't be a fucking weirdo and stream. Get DVDs.
Yeah, not even Blu-rays, DVDs.
Not even Blu-rays. Dust off your DVD player from your attic or wherever the fuck you keep it.
Hey, it's a DVD VCR combo,
Do
sir.
they sell DVDs still? Like,
I have
or
no
is
idea.
it just like 4K and just like Blu-ray now, or
I
Ultra
walked
HD,
into
or
Barnes
whatever
and
it is?
Noble while I was waiting for my dog to get bathed at like Petco or whatever, and I was looking at like what they had for music books and stuff, but I glanced over into like the music area, and they still had signs up that said like DVD, and I was like, I wonder if that's serious, but I never went in.
Yeah,
and
man,
figured
it
it
still
out.
is. Old people still exist.
But do they like put new movies on
That's why
DVD?
Barnes and Noble
is my
exists.
meaning?
Old
You know,
people.
Like,
Yeah.
Like, does the new like Ant-Man movie come out on DVD also?
It does. Yeah,
Yeah.
Get
you
the
can
fuck
buy,
outta
you can
here.
buy just the DVD, not even like the Blu-ray 4K DVD combo shit. You can straight up just buy the DVD. It's a thing.
You know, world, I'm
It's a
real
thing.
mad at you right now. I wish everyone would just be a little more progressive and we could drop these medias really quicker.
Not everybody's 1080p, bro. Not
It's kind of
everybody.
like when I worked at Blockbuster and DVDs were becoming more relevant. Like we would have like one. For most new releases, we would have like one face for VHS, and we would have those old fucks come in and be like, "Where is this one on VHS?" You got to join the 21st century. So
Where's the laser disc section?
yeah,
right.
Jesus Christ,
I
laser
need
discs.
the big discs because my arthritis can't hold the small ones.
See,
Oh my god.
we should start a chain of stores that cater to old people. So we sell like pacemakers, canes,
VHSs.
all sorts of old people accessories, and then whatever technology is phasing out. So we could have like
8 tracks.
the world's first floppy disk / pacemaker store.
There we go.
8-track players.
8-track players, divids. We can go the whole route, the whole gamut. Bullshit.
They're making
just upgraded
laptops.
that DVD. Oh.
They're making laptops and stuff without ROMs, so you could put CDs in there too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, someone came and asked me. They're like, "Hey, we're gonna need a CD burnt of that video footage." I'm like, "What are you talking
What are you
about?"
talking about?
They're
Yeah,
like, "We're gonna need you to burn that like information, that camera footage onto a CD or whatever." And I'm like, "No one does that anymore. It's not the '90s. Like, it's not
Right.
No one burned. Like, we don't have that technology here. Like, what time, sir? What time do you think it is? Like,
don't you remember though, like when you were buying a computer, or if you were building computers back then, and you're buying your CD drive, you're like, dude, this is 32X, bro.
Right.
I could burn fucking 15 songs in an hour on here, dude. Like,
I'm like,
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
like
out.
it's digital. I just email you the fucking footage. You know,
Yeah.
It's not like I don't. What are you talking about? Oh, well, we're gonna really need it on a disc. I'm like, well, I don't. Do you need it on a floppy? You know, like I don't. What do you?
I could put
You're
it
making
on
me-
like
you're
a
making me
flash
mad right
drive,
now.
you weirdo. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever heard of this thing called a USB, a USB?
USB.
Get up to speed, sir.
JD, what's your number 6? Put me out of my misery. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm glad you asked, because it's going to get pushed, so who fucking cares? It's American Van.
Yeah, it's getting pushed. You guys disappoint me. You
Yeah.
disappoint me.
Shows shit. Shows fucking
Yeah,
shit.
it's a
Mr. Anderson, you disappoint me. All right.
It's the smell.
smile. Thank you.
Kyle, what's your number 6?
My number 6 is probably getting pushed. Is 100% getting pushed. It's Haunting at Hill House.
Push.
Wow, pushing that shit.
Love that shit.
Wow.
Wow, for both of you?
Wow. I didn't say push.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just said
Me.
wow. Okay,
Yeah.
it's very confusing. It's all very confusing.
This life is very confusing. My number 6 is definitely not getting pushed, so let me yammer on for an hour. It's Homecoming.
Oh
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that
okay.
is.
Amazon
No one got
Prime.
to that.
Oh, okay.
This is from the showrunner / director / genius who did Mr. Robot. Well, he's still doing it, but Mr. Robot. He took his
Is this the
pursuits
show
to
starring
Amazon
Freddie
Prime.
Mercury, right?
No, no. Homecoming is Freddie Mercury.
No, Mr.
Oh,
Robot.
Rami
Mr.
Malek.
Robot, yes. I was like, wait, I don't even understand the reference. Okay, yes, you are correct. But Homecoming is starring Julia Roberts and
Oh, it's that show. That's right.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
God, yeah,
right.
all right.
That's right.
so she works at a company that runs something called a Homecoming Initiative that she believes is helping adapt veterans back to civilian life. Like she thinks she's helping troops work through PTSD, so they can go be like, I don't know, work at a lumber mill or whatever the fuck. So I don't know why that was my example. But Dexter came to mind for some reason. I have no idea why. The ending of Dexter.
That I cut the lumber with a veteran. Tonight's the night.
I have my dark passenger.
Lila, does she have a dark passenger too?
Oh my God.
We'll see.
Does he always sound that fucking sleepy? Jesus Christ.
He is, dude. He's the most subdued fucking, like, he's so in his own head and just too calm.
Jesus.
Way too calm.
Yeah, I loved Homecoming because it's another conspiracy show, much like one that Kyle already mentioned. I'm pretty sure it was Kyle, right?
Yeah. Wait.
Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. It was JD that brought up a Bodyguard. Bodyguard has all these like layers to the conspiracy, and Homecoming is definitely that too.
Okay.
And the show has like, and I think they're going to pursue a season 2 because the show ended with a post-credit scene that made you go, "What the fuck was that?" You know what I mean? Like it made you go, what does that even imply? Like, it's just crazy. Bobby Cannavale is in this, too. He plays, like, kind of like the villain of sorts in this, the mysterious asshole. He plays Julia Roberts' boss. And there's 2 timelines happening in the show, and one of them, the one that takes place in the present, is in a different aspect ratio. And you're kind of like, oh, it's just a stylistic choice to make you, recognize what time that things are happening in. Nope, that's not why they do that. They show you exactly why they do that, like in the 6th episode or something like that, and it's very fascinating and like just fucking brilliant. Yeah, I just love this dude. Just handles suspense so well, and the way that he shoots things makes me, at the edge of my seat for every scene, even if they're just like talking. Like, there's a lot of Julia Roberts like assessing primarily this one guy that she's taken like a liking to, not in like a romantic way or whatever, like they're friends. Stephen James. He plays a troop out. He's just he has a lot of personality and stuff. He's got good stories and stuff like that. And she cares about him and stuff. And yeah, them talking to each other and him sharing his stories, made me, like, I'm just sitting there listening to them talk for like 10, 15 minutes. And I'm like, oh my God, this is engaging. And I never noticed that it's just fucking talking. Yeah, I don't know. I think Sam Esmail, whatever, however you say his last name, the guy who's married to Emmy Rossum, that fucking bastard.
Yeah.
He's just a good writer, man. He's just a good writer, and I like his shows. And I would be curious to see what he does with a movie, honestly, because I clearly know he knows how to map out a TV show. I'm just curious how he can handle like 2 hours and then that's it, Yeah, I just love his shit, man. He's just one of the best directors working right now, honestly. Yeah, so that's my number 6. So number 5 for JD.
Dope.
Never heard of it.
Daredevil is my number 5.
Oh.
We could talk about that now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was garbage.
Yeah, that was an honorable mention for Kyle.
Clearly, the show is awful. I mean, they canceled it within like 2 weeks of it ending. So it's very bad. And I'm glad that they got to end it on a cliffhanger where I wanted so much more out of the great villain that they fucking built up this season. In Bullseye.
And then gave us like a potential lead for the next season with Bullseye, where he would actually become Bullseye.
And so I'm really glad we got this quality season and that it was immediately canceled and all this stuff is never going to get seen.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
Absolutely.
So I am so mad that the show, it really, it's finding itself, man. Yeah. It's just in the middle of finding itself. And I think D'Onofrio as Fisk, like we've talked about this in years past, is perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect for Kingpin. And he comes back and just totally wrecks it. Everything with Matt is great. We got the big action sequence was a hospital sequence this time?
Prison.
Like a
prison.
Prison.
It's like a cool 12:45 or something like that.
Yeah, it's
12 minutes or something. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. So yeah, this one it's bittersweet talking about it because I just, I think we all want more, and who knows if we're gonna get it, and if we do, what condition or state it's going to be in if it moves over to the the Disney platform or if it's its own thing. I don't know. Like, there's just too much up in the air right now with these Marvel properties. But man, it doesn't take away from how good this one was. Like, this was just great, and this was one of the easier watches for me this year, for sure.
Yeah, I had it at 9, so obviously I hated it. But
yeah, clearly it's terrible.
Obviously.
And Kyle clearly thinks it's the worst show ever because it's an honorable mention.
I didn't even put it on
the list. Yeah.
But yeah, I thought this was like. I mean, I know that the dynamic between Punisher and Daredevil was fantastic in season 2. But I thought this was like, in terms of each episode delivering something that made me just, I don't know, want to keep going to the next one. This one reminded me of season 1 in terms of its pacing, where like I just could not stop watching it because each episode delivered some big either reveal or action scene that just made me want to watch the next one. And I love that well, I mean, I guess the writers technically, but I love that Matt Murdock stuck to his guns and stuck to the old costume and. Yeah, all that shit, the brutality of it, and yeah, I don't know. I just loved his philosophical change after the Defenders thing, after meeting Iron Fist. Let's call it what it is. He met Iron Fist and said, "I don't want to be that fucking guy." And
no way, man.
I don't want to be that white guy. And then he turned into Mr. Badass. Well, I guess he always was one. But yeah, he's always been the most interesting of the Defenders to me. I mean, I like Jessica Jones' new season 2. In 2018. It's not in my honorable mentions, though, because, I had enough, I got talked off of a ledge, more or less, with that one. But I did like it more than many others did.
I liked it fine.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Luke Cage was a disappointing shit. Didn't finish that. I'm really disappointed that Iron Fist was canceled because they literally gave us everything we wanted in the last 2 episodes, and then they were like, okay, we're canceled. They ended on like a cliffhanger that was like, oh, I'm intrigued to see more of this, and then by the time I'm intrigued, it's fucking gone. It's just a shame.
It's gonna happen with Punisher. We know it.
Yeah, literally day of it'll drop and then be like, by the way, we're done with Punisher.
Yeah, right.
I love.
They gave it the weekend.
Did you see the picture I shared in chat, Jeff? I don't know if you were asleep or not. Where it's like Punisher cancels Netflix.
No,
it was like it's like a CNN news break or whatever, and it's like breaking news: the Punisher cancels Netflix. Like that's what needs to happen.
What are you trying to say? He should murder everybody? That'd be a terroristic.
No, I said can't. I said can't. Don't put fucking words in my mouth. I said canceled.
Okay,
whatever that means. Whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I love Daredevil, man. Great action sequences too. Like it's just
Very
like they
good.
just.
Bullseye super good this season. I mean, there's so many great things. I like always more Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin.
Mm-hmm.
There's some really standout moments, like where he's, just visualizing. Like they go into his mind, like how he visualizes everything, how he sees and like compartmentalizes, like information and accesses information in his brain. It's just really cool. It goes deep into everybody, and really, it actually works really well as like a series finale, if not for like the little tiny things that they kind of opened up to kind of touch on. Maybe
it was
later,
really just Bullseye that kind of like.
Really, it was just him, to be honest. But everything else, it's very neat at the end. Everything's very tied off very neatly. So if it has to end there, it's actually not the worst thing in the world. It's just like, why make such a good bad guy and never use him again? That's kind of dumb. But
yeah, but at least we got to see this dude's dealing with legit issues as a sociopath. At least we got to see that kind of like in action. In terms of his marksmanship, like immediately you see it because like the Kingpin's about to be like killed by rival gangs or like mafiosos or whatever the fuck, and this random SWAT guy just starts headshotting everybody like from around corners and stuff, and you're like, who the fuck is this guy? Like it's just such a great intro to Bullseye, and then you can immediately see Kingpin's like brain start turning like, how could I use this guy? It's just brilliant, and his also the thing where Bullseye but pretty much attacks the entire like news organization too that Karen works at.
Oh yeah.
God, I love that scene.
Was awesome.
He murders a high body count there.
Big time. That is terrifying. They really shot that really well to make me go, oh, I'm terrified right now. And
the way that he says hello, Karen, or just Karen in general, gets me every time too.
Yeah.
Karen.
It's creepy.
I'm like, what? Did you just creep? You fucking creep.
Yeah. And I love when Matt shows up and he's in his old school gear, and when he catches what was it? He throws the baton at Foggy, and Matt catches it in midair, and then it's like, this, oh shit! It's a good shit action moment. Like it's about to go down.
Yeah,
I love that.
We go, and what a great fight that is! It's such a good fight. Yeah.
So good.
It's the way that Daredevil and Bullseye fight's supposed to go. Just him throwing pencils and office every little
and
thing
hitting Daredevil sometimes too,
and hitting Daredevil and shit. Like suppressing him so he has to retreat behind cover, as if this is a gunfight. It's so good. Like they do such a good job of portraying like a true comic book fight, like of a villain who can like just throw anything and turn anything into like a deadly projectile.
It was really weird when he stopped throwing something and looked directly into the camera and went, "Bullseye, huh? Get it?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell literally did that in that shitty ass movie. Whatever.
Hey.
Whatever, it's fine.
You got it?
He's like, points at his tattoo. He's like,
You got it?
Oh my god. Fucking Colin Farrell. Colin Gumchewer Farrell. All right, Kyle, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is, I don't know if it's maybe you guys hated the show, Castle Rock.
Slight push. Little
wow.
Push. Just a little bit.
Everybody's got totes different shit. I love it. Love it so much.
That's gonna get pushed. Okay, that's cool. I thought I was like, that show's fucking fun.
This is the one JD's cucking about. It's kind of weird to me. Whatever, that's fine. It's fine. My number 5. Speaking of cuckery, my number 5. I'm a cuck for Barry, so that's my number 5.
Oh wow, yeah.
Wow, didn't make my list, which I feel really bad about.
Whatever.
I'll take the heat now.
Good. No. So Barry. I got to give props to the shows that really just struck a complete like original chord with me. And if you can't tell, I mean, my first 2 shows are like just new seasons of shows I love. Whereas the shows that I mentioned after the fact are like shows that really just completely stepped outside the boundaries of like what I expect from a TV show. And Barry's just a premise that what the fuck? I just didn't expect that shit at all. I didn't expect it to be the way it was. I thought it was just going to be straightforward, like, I don't know, straightforward comedy in the vein of Waiting for Guffman type shit. And what's the other show? Best in Show, the other movie that guy does. I thought it was going to be Best like that because as soon as he was like, oh, I'm going to be an actor, I was like, oh, it's like, they're going to improvise and shit. Nope, there's drama in it and it makes you feel things. And that finale is just
the finale's so good.
Fucking amazing. My God. When he's walking up to the lady, and I'm trying not to spoil, but when he's walking up to the lady and then like, it's just like he's just like begging her and he's being so genuine.
Do this. Yeah.
Just don't. But he obviously had a plan from the beginning when he went down there to talk to her. It's just fucking that scene and him going back to bed and oh my God, it's so good.
Oh man, it's super good.
And then there's
a lot of
before
great
that where
he does some truly awful things in this show.
He really does, and that's him trying to reconcile. Trying to become a human being again and not do this horrible shit anymore. And the fact that he had to put somebody that he viewed as a friend, somebody that was close to him, he had to compromise them and more or less do away with them. And then he starts to think about their family and shit. This dude's developing a conscience suddenly. And like that episode right before the finale is the one where he's like just fucking breaks down. And that is just brilliant. Just a brilliant performance. Like seriously, just the best performance in television, honestly, all year. That's what I cite as the best performance in television all year. And I think that means they're agreeing with him, and the Golden Globes are agreeing with him because he's winning all the awards. So,
did he really?
Yeah, he won. He won like best actor and shit like that. I don't know if it won best comedy. I think that's still like it's always going to be like fucking bullshit Kaminsky Method or some bullshit like that. You know what I mean? Like it's bigger. It's just there's so many feels in the show too. On top, like there's just a human element to it that doesn't really make you laugh as much. I don't know. It's just hard to view as a comedy. I can't remember what one comedy, and it might have been like something else. Hold on. Now it's going to bother me. What the fuck won comedy at the Emmy Awards? Yeah, it's just a really great show. Great cast, too. Like, Henry Winkler is fantastic in this. I think he won an award, too, for a supporting role in a comedy.
Oh, good.
No bullshit. Good for him, man.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Did Maisel win?
Maisel, yes. Maisel won comedy. Thank
I say
you.
Maisel.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
But yeah, Bill Hader definitely won for lead actor, and she, of course, Brosnahan won for Maisel as lead actress in a comedy series, which makes sense, obviously. But and whoever that female lead is that he's like kind of got a thing for. I'd never seen her in anything before at all, and she's incredible in the show too.
Yeah, she's super adorable and stuff.
Yeah, and she's like a really good actress. It's always great when they cast somebody that you never heard of and they're like fucking incredible.
Where'd you find this person?
Yeah.
You know?
Like her first
She's
scene
in
is
the
her being
Dark
emotional.
Knight Rises, man.
What?
She was an analyst in Dark Knight Rises.
Was her line? I bet her line was something like, "You got to come take a look at this."
Yeah, so
Probably no line at all.
You're
Like,
absolutely
she's
right.
just like typing at the computer while like other people stand around her and talk.
Yeah,
yeah.
Bane is like, "What is this
Now-
over here?"
Yeah,
She's
right.
analyst number 1, so she's the best
Oh,
analyst.
No, I don't think that's what that means.
Okay, so she's the first one that you see. Okay, got it.
Okay.
But she's
First
the
one in the script,
best analyst. Yeah,
anal list.
analyst.
So that's my number 5. Love that show. You had it at number 10 because you hate it.
Yeah.
JD.
Yep, clearly. I didn't laugh. Didn't laugh once. Probably laughed like 30 times because it's just. I don't know, man. I like that off kilter, like where you're dealing with dark subject matter, but goofy, irreverent people.
It's hard
Like
to balance
the Ukrainian guy.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
So
you know,
great.
Barry, we're very good. You're my friend. Like he's like Tommy Wiseau,
Yeah.
but he's a fucking murderer.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Barry, you're my friend. You know, you're a very nice guy. And I don't know, man.
He's so
everything
great.
with him is great.
I don't know where he came. I mean, I know him. I saw him as Zaz whenever I watched like 4 episodes of Gotham or whatever, and I was just like, oh boy, yeah.
That's right.
But he's like legitimately funny and good in the show.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm glad this guy got out of whatever Gotham was and got a real
It's a
fucking
hellscape
job.
of a
You know,
TV show to be
Real
caught in.
job,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was good, man. So I'm really glad that this one came out. And I can't. Are we getting a new one this year? Maybe no. I
Maybe
don't know
next
if they
year.
talked about it.
It
Maybe.
sounds like things are bi-yearly. You know, it feels like
Okay.
at HBO.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's he
Not
does
every
movies
2
and
years.
shit. Yeah.
Not 2 a year, but every 2 years. Excuse me.
Right.
They renewed it in April, which is actually kind of early considering it was still in the middle of airing.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't say anything about going in production for a second season yet, but yeah, I bet it's like a 2020 type thing.
Cool.
Yeah, that's my number 5. So JD, what's number 4?
This is where I landed with Castle Rock. So it's just the slightest.
Oh,
of,
just the
of
slightest
pushes
of pushes.
Slightest of little pushes.
from Kyle at number 5. So
Honorable
yeah, I
mention
mean,
for me, yeah.
man, I just I don't know what it was with Castle Rock and then my number 3 this year. Like some of the weird stuff or the just atmospheric type shows this year just really latched onto me, and I loved the story. It was what's her face, Sissy Spacek as his mother was incredible. Like she has like 1 or 2 episodes that you're just like,
yeah, she gets one whole episode. That's
she gets the entire one, and she was so good.
Which for me, like, because I didn't watch Lost, I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
So I was like, what in the fuckity fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you are bouncing
Yeah, I was
around
totally virgin to
several
that type of,
timelines.
like experience. So it was
Yeah. Yeah, that was as a avid Lost cuck and defender for the most part. I think you're a little more of a defender of
I'm
it
a
than
whole
I am.
part, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a whole
I'm
part
like-
defender of that show. I
I'm
love
like
it.
95% a defender, and then the other stuff I'm like, I see your point, and it kind of bothered me too. But whatever, I still love the shit. Yeah, that was such a cool episode because like just stylistically, did we find out if there was an actual Lost connection? Like,
No. It's just the fact that she's
It's just the
jumping.
style.
Her mind is jumping around.
no, I meant creatively. Like, was the writer?
Oh yeah,
like,
Carlton Cuse is a co-creator on a co-creator of
That's
Lost.
correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
I didn't
I
realize that.
thought we'd mentioned that. Yeah.
And he co-created
so, yeah,
the
you
show,
see his
Castle
influence
Rock.
there.
Hmm.
And yeah, I just like I kind of like the Stephen King verse that we're getting with this show. Like
Love
it
it,
just
yeah.
it's
It's
just
the-
a
it's the
little
first
tip of
time
the
I've-
cap to Shawshank, and you know it's Stephen King is making a big comeback, I think, in the pop culture world with it. Being so successful, and they're redoing Pet Cemetery. I don't know how that's going to be, but
It looks. I mean, the trailer looked good, and
yeah, I mean,
it's
I
got
I
promise.
just don't know. You know,
Yeah.
with horror stuff, I'm really bad at predicting what's going to be good with horror. Like I thought A Quiet Place looked like shit the first time I saw the trailer, and you guys are like, that looked great. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about
Yeah.
when it comes to this stuff.
I never know when it comes to like most mainstream, I guess, horror trailers look okay to me. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it looks like a horror movie. Cool. And then I don't know until I see it, like whether it's something completely mediocre and shitty or something just mind blowing, like A Quiet Place. Like A Quiet Place felt like very basic, but I was still like, okay, I want to see it though. You know, like, I want to see it in theaters, see what it's really like.
See what that Office Boy can do.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas you see like a trailer for Truth or Dare, and I'm kind of like, all right, this is clearly
you
shit.
Can pretty much.
Right. Yeah. Right.
But the indie stuff, like the indie horror stuff, like Hereditary trailers, were kind of like, okay, this is going to be something different.
Or It Follows, like like when you see It Follows the first time, like the trailer, you're like, ooh, oh yeah, that looks good.
This is gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird as shit. Want to see it?
It's gonna be stylized and weird.
Yeah,
right.
Castle Rock, I love the as reveals are coming in that show, because like it's clear that the writers had a vision for the season, maybe even the entire show, because you know the writers of Lost did for the characters had something in mind. Maybe not for all the answers of the sci-fi shit, but for the characters.
Definitely not all the answers.
Yeah. But they're definitely clearly mapping things out, because as things just kind of unfold, the way they unfolded, they kind of happen naturally. Like I feel like I could go back and watch it over again and kind of pick things up.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel like they worked backwards, if that makes sense. Like they definitely knew what the end game was, and they just kind of like unfolded it backwards from there. Because I don't know, that reveal, I think it's like in the second to last episode.
Yeah, there's like a whole episode dedicated to Henry and his entire
I am Henry Deaver
origins
or something like
or whatever.
that.
Yeah.
That was just a fascinating.
Or I guess I should say
episode.
Bill Skarsgård's character, whatever his character. Oh, I guess he's Henry too, so never mind.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah, they're both Henry Deaver.
Oops.
Oopsies.
Skip ahead.
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
Who? Don't worry. Hey, even though like you may know that, it still doesn't really mean anything. So.
It doesn't
You're still
mean
like,
anything.
wait, what? That doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah,
Somehow,
no.
it's somehow more confusing than, oh, he's a guy in a box and people die around him. Somehow knowing that he's the same as a little black kid.
But sometimes people die when he touches them too, but not all the time. Like, what?
How is he controlling this? The central mystery of this one just like really, really stood out to me this year. Like I was genuinely invested in this one, and man, good on Hulu for putting this one out. This is one of the few Hulu originals I watched this year.
Week to week worked in this show's favor too.
It really did. Yeah,
like,
I think
I have to dwell on that one.
They did the 3-episode drop to hook you in, and then the rest was week to week, and I think that's a smart model.
Me too.
You know, because there are some shows that, man, like I just like Sharp Objects. Who the fuck wants to binge that show?
I couldn't. I was like, I was
bad for anybody that binges that.
4 episodes behind, so I watched like 2 episodes in a row, trying to do like all 4, and like I got through 2, and I was like, I got to take a break, and I got to take a week break.
Yeah. Like I have to forget that this show exists for a few days and then go back to it.
I think Atlanta had the best pacing in terms of like doing a weekly version of that show, because like I wanted to dwell on each episode being its own contained story, and I felt like, especially in season 2, because each episode was a contained story, more or less, like with a beginning, middle, and end. Whether or not the ending would be satisfying or happy is another thing, but but it's still like, it was like, oh, I need to dwell on that, and then everybody would talk about it on social media, and then they'd be ready for the next episode to come out. Yeah, Castle Rock definitely had that. That worked in its favor for sure, because we were dissecting shit like.
Oh yeah, and we got hyped up like we were. That was a Tuesday night show, so I kind of miss that now with all the streaming stuff. Is like
most of the shit I mentioned is like streaming.
Day. You know, like I get that with sports ball now. Like yes, it's Sunday. Like, but I don't get it with a lot of TV anymore. Like Game of Thrones and
we're talking about TV in big chunks now, like as entire series, and not nuances and specific little things of every episode. So like we miss out on those conversations.
Like the water cooler talk, if you will. Like I like show comes on a Tuesday, talk about it with everybody for 3 days. You go about your weekend. You come on Monday. Hey guys, guess what? The show's coming on again tomorrow. It's gonna be cool. Like that social aspect is.
Now it's only reserved for like fucking reality shows, like the Masked Singer one, where it's like, oh, I wonder who the bee is or whatever the fuck.
Who's getting voted off the island next week?
When I was in the break room for the one time I go there every 3 months or so, just to remind myself of why I don't go there. That's what everybody was fucking talking about.
See? I'm telling you, it's always fucking reality shows.
They were doing their theories about the Masked Singer, and they were talking about one of them and how it's a former Disney star and whether or not it's Katy Perry or something. I was like, I think Katy Perry auditioned for Mickey Mouse or something. They're like, oh, see, it's definitely her. I'm like, I can't believe I just
like,
fucking
who fucking cares? Yeah, it's
yeah, exactly. I don't even know why I know this information. It's like
I zoned out while you were just talking about it.
Good, you should have, because it's like peripheral John Mayer information. Because we follow that dude heavily, and he was with her for however long, and I know way more about Katy Perry than I should.
Who he loved.
I know about a couple things about Katy Perry. That's right.
I
know two big ones. Like two big things I know about.
There's a couple big things about. Nothing anybody else doesn't know.
We're gonna apologize again.
No, we pre-apologize.
No, we pre-apologize. Oh, we're covered.
Remember, we're in a cloud of amnesty right now.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Legal is on board. We are good to go.
Thumbs up again. Yep, again, thumbs up one more time.
We just watched Bodied. Can we get them on the N-word? Can we get it on there?
No. It's a hard shake of the head. Wow, I've never seen them react so quickly.
There's no apology that could ever make that okay. A pre-apology or post-apology.
Damn, I'm glad we hired them.
Yeah. Legal's putting in work. You guys are worth every penny. What are we paying you guys? Oh, nothing. Okay, cool. Got it.
Yikes.
Yeah. And they're pro boner lawyers.
Pro boner, yeah.
Pro boner lawyers.
they see that hard on, and they're like, I'm taking that case.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, for free too.
Fuck.
Pro bono. God damn.
So that's your number 4, Castle Rock. Kyle,
sure.
Hey Kyle, hey, how you doing? What's your number 4?
Hey, my number 4 is Maniac. We just pushed it, I think, a little while ago.
Yes, we did.
Number 4. Jonah Hill dies at the end.
Nice.
No, I don't know. I don't fucking remember.
I don't remember how it ends.
This show's a fucking mindfuck, man.
Yeah, it is.
And it's a lot of fun, but it's coherent. It's not like Legion, which we may talk about here in a little bit, where it's like almost incoherent sometimes, and I'm just like, I'm gonna have to put in a little work here. Maniac, like you're lost in the woods at some points, and then things clear up, and then you're lost in the woods again. It's got a good nature to it, I would say.
Right.
And man, I'm really in love with what's her face, this actress that keeps on popping up and everything. Crazy Rich Asians, and she's Dr.
Oh yeah, she was in like La La Land and this, and she was the doctor with the British accent,
and Ex Machina and all this stuff.
And she's in a new show coming out next year called Devs by the guy who did Annihilation. Oh snap!
Oh man, I'm really, man. I don't know what it is about her character in this, but her awful fucking haircut, her awful glasses, and her chain smoking really fucking did it for me. The entire show, it really did it for me.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with that. I got some questions I got to ask myself. I really like this show a lot. I think bringing back Emma Stone and Jonah Hill together is excellent. Yeah. They got great chemistry, and Jonah Hill's just a fucking weirdo. He's just like he's very mentally unstable, and so is Emma Stone. But they're in different ways. And
she's an asshole, and he's a creeper.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, that's a good way to be reductive about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. And so they're dealing with different shit, but like it's really cool because there's a lot of actually testing going on with psychotherapy and psychedelics and stuff like that, and this just kind of echoes that. It said that instead of taking psychedelics, even though they take a pill, it's all happening in some kind of machine or something that's ran by some AI.
Some 80s machine, some 80s
right.
AI face.
Yeah, like when you LED. Just imagine every 80s computer wall that you've ever seen, and that's what this AI is. And it's at some points really corny, but it's supposed to be. And man, what's his face? Who's the lead doctor?
Justin Theroux. Yeah.
Oh my God, he is so awesome in this.
Yeah, I've never seen him be such a weirdo. Like he's pretty straightforward in The Leftovers. He does some demented shit in The Leftovers, but he's a straightforward dude. He's a dude.
Hey,
but
don't
in this
forget
one, he
molests people, talks about it, and then it's never addressed again in Mute. Don't forget that.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Oh,
yeah.
We don't talk
He's
about
an eccentric pedophile, okay, guys? It's not that bad of a thing or whatever.
No, it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
That's what the movie wants us to believe.
He's just quirky, everybody.
I forgive him. It's a disease. You got to feel sympathy for him.
But yeah, him and Forrest Gump's mom are got some electric
Sally Field in this.
Yeah, Sally Field. Thank you.
In this movie, the show. I was like, dude, she's given a challenging role. Jesus Christ, good for her, because she was kind of doing her little like shouting moments and being a little loony sometimes, because she voices the AI too, because he totally has mommy issues and had to make the AI based off her voice and being more
right.
whatever.
And I love that reveal where everyone's just like, "What a fucking weirdo!"
Yeah. Well, the first thing we see him do is like some kind of weird like porn thing, video game porn or whatever.
Yep. Yeah. He's got goggles on and he's fucking some like fuckbot and like it's a good way to be introduced to this character, I tell you. And then for the rest of the show, he's pretending to be a very smart, like he's not pretending, he is very smart, but like a put together, holding it all together type of like scientist guy. And you just like, you see the seams of his mask that he's wearing, and it's, God, it's fucking, I love this show.
And you
it's
can
so great.
see, and you can see that really it's his assistant, the Asian person that we just mentioned, who's like kind of holding all the threads together, more or less.
Yeah, right. She's the only one keeping it all together and kind of progressing like with the studies and everything. And
he's got too many mommy issues to be able to, keep it together. He needs to be the one in the fucking machines, more or less, is what the point of his character is like.
Right.
The guy who's running the show is the one who really needs the most help.
He's the most broken and in need of the therapy. Yeah.
Whereas Emma Stone is more just kind of like dealing with her dad's issues and not just that, but like more of like an attention type of thing for her, or I don't know. She was just her character's really hard to describe. It's a very complex character to even verbalize. Like it's just crazy, but she is so good in the fucking show. She's good in The Favorite too. She's had a good year.
Had a great year.
Yeah.
Great year.
Great year.
Great year.
Somebody said something funny in The Favorite using the word cunt, and I can't remember what they said, but it was like brilliant, like and poetic, and hilarious.
I think I know the scene that you're talking about, but I can't remember exactly what the line
Emma
was.
Stone and Nicholas Hoult or something, and he says something about he uses cunt as like an adjective or like an adverb or whatever, and it's like, I don't know. That's
it's
a weird thread to dangle.
And I don't remember.
She like emasculates him hard, right? Is it that one where he runs out all pissed off?
It was outside when he shoves her.
Weisz.
It was outside when he shoves her, and then he goes, and he just immediately after he shoves her, he goes, "You okay?" Or immediately after he. It's so fucking. The humor is so dark, but it makes me laugh out loud every single time. I love that damn movie. You okay? Yeah.
You okay?
Just like from off screen. Oh man,
that's a good movie.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
I like it a lot.
But yeah, she's made some odd choices this year, and they've paid off. And this is definitely one of them. And it's cool too that you mentioned that like it does make you think, but it's at the same time each type of different reality that they go into, you can follow the narrative of that story, more or less. Like, you just accept that, okay, this is a different story, they're different people, and here's where they are.
Different day, different treatment.
Exactly. They're treating like a different emotion or whatever, which is awesome. I love that type of, I don't know. It's just a totally different show, and that's why it's on my list for sure.
There's nothing like this show. Absolutely.
Yeah. Love it. I'm at my number 4. My number 4, I wouldn't describe this as a wholly original, but this is my version of, Kyle had, the show Love, and this is my show Love. It's Crashing.
Oh, yeah.
I feel so bad for not having
I need to watch this. I need to get on this.
It's not that I can entirely relate to the experience that he's doing as a stand-up comic, but it's I see the parallels in his journey as a comic. And, granted, he's more successful, obviously, in the show, too. But his parallels between his journey as a comic and mine as, like, a performer, as a musician, when I was doing that regularly. And, like, learning your way around the ropes and stuff, and what you can and can't do and stuff. I'm familiar with that type of whole thing. But his relationship with... I can't remember the actress's name, but his relationship in this show with that comic that he dates through the entire season, that is just one of the most, like... relatable relationships I've ever seen on screen. It was like verbatim a relationship I had before, where it was just completely natural, and you can totally give each other shit, and it's perfect. And I loved the idea at the end and it culminating in a roast battle, because I've always been curious, like how do comics legitimately feel about roasting each other if they're like dating or married? It's just that's such a weird idea. Like it's only in that world. Do you do that, And then Bodied kind of did it in a different way, where it's
it
like,
does,
where it's a battle rap and stuff. So like it's just totally, completely like things I wanted to assess without really knowing that I wanted to see it assessed on screen. I love all that shit, and him going to colleges and seeing how he needs to manage his material there, and he got gigs, whereas his I think it was his girlfriend like told a rape joke or something like that, and it fell completely flat. Which is
say not to say that kind of joke,
and she did it anyway, and it was just like awkward, and like she didn't get any gigs after that. No colleges hired her.
She spited them.
Yeah, and that's honestly that's a relevant topic. Somebody just got kicked off stage for telling fucking jokes at a college, so that's never gonna get old. That stuff. So I like seeing a comic traverse the current landscape and trying to make it now, because I felt like shows before, like Louis, which obviously he's in still a shit ton of hot water, because that's, I mean, good, he should be. But like his show and Seinfeld were kind of shows that were like, oh, these guys are already comics. Like, for fuck's sake, they're doing bits in their show, and people are going to see them. You know what I mean? Like, it's clear that they've established themselves as stand-up comics. I've never seen from the ground floor, I want to be a stand-up comic show, starring a stand-up comedian who it's about his life, so obviously he's achieved that success. And it's just, I've always been curious, how do they fucking navigate the field, especially nowadays with everything being, I don't want to say everything being off limits, but like, you know what I mean? You clearly, you have to not say certain things nowadays, and you kind of have to judge it.
But there are still people out there who are fighting for the right to like say whatever they want, you know. And I
get that within reason. Like, I feel like it really depends on the audience. Like, you should really just know. You gotta feel that vibe off the audience and go, do I tell this joke or not? And his girlfriend, again, I feel really bad not knowing her name in the show, but his girlfriend just. She was told in advance that's not the audience for this, and she fucking did the joke anyway. And that's that's stupid on her part, but at the same time, yeah, she should totally be able to say it. You know what I mean? Like,
right. And I'm wondering what season 3, like, because season 3 is gonna have to like dive into this stuff, because like every single year this topic becomes more and more relevant, you know.
Oh, and he had
just like the fight for comedy.
He wasn't afraid to, because he mentions how deeply Christian he is in this show. His character. He has that entire episode where he talks to Penn Jillette at a fucking bar. Yeah, and it's good. Just so fucking...
such a good fucking conversation.
Yes, because Penn is the guy you get for that. He is the most eloquent, educated person to talk on that topic that you can think of in the world of comedy. And he's just like the perfect guy to talk to about it. And they're bouncing points off of each other that are like, they're not completely unreasonable. I mean, obviously you'll side with one or the other, but the fact that they're having the conversation and it's healthy... It's just good. And the Artie Lang episode, too, it's fucking heartbreaking because it's too real.
It's so good.
Way too real.
It's happening right now.
It's literally happening right now.
And he is playing Artie Lang, you know? Yeah. It's not like Artie Lang's playing, like, Jardie Dang or something like that.
He's literally, hey, I'm Artie. I'm an asshole. I'm a shithead. Don't care about me.
Right. This is what I'm doing in real life. Like, and you got to think, like, maybe that's healthy for him. Like, maybe it's his way of, like, realizing that he's doing it. I have no. I don't even aim to get into that man's head, but
there's just no way.
It's so crazy to me that
people have tried, and he just makes jokes and tells him. Fuck
I mean,
you,
I don't know.
know.
He's just very real about who he is, and you know he's a mess, and he's just like, use that whole story on me, you know, like it's cool.
Didn't care. Pete Holmes, man, he's better than people give him credit for, especially when you look at him. Like,
absolutely,
you're just kind of like. Oh, he's just, and he calls himself out as like a, you know, he kind of looks like a church camp counselor or some shit like that. Looks like a female Val Kilmer or some shit like that. He calls himself all these names, and it's totally true. But like, he just offers so much more.
Lesbian Val Kilmer, I forget what
he just offers so much more in terms of like deep thinking comedy. Especially, I think the drugs helped with that, which the show has just started to dive into. Where he
just started,
What
does he do, like Molly or ecstasy or something this season?
In the new season, I think so. But
like him and Leaf go off and like have a whole like day or whatever.
Oh yeah, and I'm curious to see how he gets from this point to what he swears by Ram Dass right now, who's like this. I don't know, kind of Buddhist type figure. He has his own type of ideology, though.
Thank Duncan Trussell for that. He's been hanging out with him a lot. So.
Oh, nice. I'm just curious to see how he gets there, and I know we're going to get there because this dude has interesting points of view, and his is definitely go see his new special on HBO too, called Dirty Clean, because like that. He poses some questions that are funny to really think of, like when it comes to how your brain works and stuff, but like. You just don't. You think of it often, but you don't in the way that he's doing it. I don't know. It's just the way he verbalizes things that you think of all the time, and frames it in a funny way. He's just so good, man. He would be in my top 10 like working comedians right now if I had the fucking balls to remake that list.
Who would you take off your list, Jeff? If you had to pick one? if you had to remove one,
probably Dave Chappelle. Fuck that guy.
Oh, okay, good, yeah. Fucking bitch. Oh my god.
Oh man. I wonder who would I take off that list?
Take off? I don't know. Maybe
Louis C.K. would still be number one. So that his new bit about the Parkland shooting survivors is just fire.
Classic C.K. Classic.
Fuck. So JD, sorry for vamping on Crashing. That show is just better than people give it credit for, even on the surface. Like it's like, no, trust me, watch that show. It's good.
I'm glad I have you to.
Crashing's great.
Put it on my radar because I was not very familiar with Pete Holmes before you guys started talking about Crashing. So I'm definitely going to get to it for sure.
I would watch some of his. I started with his YouTube sketches from College Humor where he plays Batman and and he's like, and it's just
wait,
and they're
he's Batman in the College Humor one.
Yeah, he's
like,
swear to me.
Better.
Yeah.
I'm stronger.
I am
that's
stronger.
him.
That's fucking Pete Holmes.
Are you? Oh my!
And he did
God,
the
you're blowing
X-Men
my
sketches
mind right
where it's like
the X-Men sketches are so good.
He's Professor X telling
man.
which X-Men especially Wolverine. He's giving it to Wolverine. Like,
and he doubles down on Hot Ones where he's just like Wolverine. He's the stupidest character ever. I'm like, dang, he's doubling down on it. Like,
wow, dude, that is such a deep cut.
What are motorcycles made out of? Tubes. It's such a good sketch. I love that sketch so much.
I love that in the Street Fighter ones where he's like a tax guy or whatever the fuck, tax law. I don't know, and he's trying to like debate with people like Blanca or some shit or Chun-Li about them filing their taxes, and he's like, "What is this about?" And he's just really assessing and breaking down their characters in really funny ways, which he did as a bit. It started as a bit in an old stand-up comedy thing. Like he was talking about video game characters and how it would be funny to see them go to the doctor or something like that. And he talks about a really old character from a video game that just used to eat just like one apple or whatever. Can't remember who it is, but that's how they would get their health, restore their health. Really old video game character. And can't remember who it is for the life of me.
Hubert or something?
Something like that. Somebody that breaks barrels too.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay, whatever.
I can't remember. But yeah, it totally came from that. And that's just how his brain works. Like it just assesses the mundane even better than most comics do nowadays.
That's cool.
He's the much, much better version of what's the deal with airline food now. You know what I mean? Like it's even more mundane than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
He'll definitely add like some other twist to the way he tells that joke. It's basic ass joke.
The way that it filters through his
that's cool.
Goofball brain, you know.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad I unknowingly know the shit out of him through
If you know all of his Batman
awesome.
sketches,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I definitely recommend.
Riddle you with.
I definitely recommend watching all the other sketches you can find that he did before you get to like Crashing or even his stand-up I would watch because I watched his second stand-up was the first one I watched. And then I went back and listened to the first one, which was equally funny, if not funnier. Mm-hmm. And yeah, this dude's just good at his fucking job, man. And his recent one was just brilliant too, so
cool.
His whole late night show was hilarious.
Yeah, it was so different. So
natural.
I loved it. Yeah. He's a great conversationalist too. I like his podcast. It's You Make It Weird is his podcast. He's just good at his shit. That's what you want. Somebody who's good at their shit. JD, what's your number 3?
This is my cucky pick. I don't know, but this one was really good. I put Haunting at Hill House is number 3.
Oh, you pushed it.
You pushed it from
push it forward.
I like that.
I really did. This one was one where you guys got to it before I did. I think I waited a couple weeks to start this, and I think I started it on like the forefront of my vacation. Wasn't really planning on barreling through it, but man, it was just like one after the other, and then you guys started talking about all the ghosts and shit hiding in the background, which I was not looking for in the first couple of episodes. And I don't know if you guys have gone through and watched a video on how many there are. There are more than
there's like 50 or whatever.
It's insane.
And they're all right there.
They're all right there. They're all fucking right there.
It
And
couldn't
to me,
be more present. Like, you have to be looking for them. You know?
That is more terrifying, like on a metaphorical level for me than anything. Because like I know you guys or have done your stuff with ghosts and whatnot. I've never done anything like that, and I've always been fascinated by it. But like I'm sure that there's like ghosts for real, like that are just everywhere, and we're just not in tune with them. Like we just can't see them, whatever their energy is. Like I firmly fucking believe that. And for the show to like reinforce that fear or just the unknown aspect of that world into me, it's like I give it a lot of credit. Plus, it's well acted as shit. The characters are fantastic. The cinematography, and it was awesome. I mean, I don't think you can make a bad shot in that house because it's so wide open. Yeah. And this was one of the ones too where like I felt so attached to the characters, which is the biggest wall to getting into horror for me. Is that a lot of times the characters are, especially with modern day horror, you don't see character development. It's all about what's happening to them and not who they are. And this one battles that fine line between things that are happening to these characters that we care about, but it's also addressing mental illness. And I just feel like it's a very balanced and nuanced approach to horror. And to have it be on a Netflix series, like that was also very impressive to me. Like I was not expecting this at all, and it just came out.
Yeah, judging by the name of the show, I was just like,
I thought it was gonna be so stupid.
Yeah,
because the Haunting, that movie is not that good. Mm-hmm. Like I mean, that came out when we were in our teens, early teens, and that one was
that's
just
a remake of a movie from. Like,
that's
the
a remake of the movie, and like nothing has ever done this subject matter, this source material any justice. Like the book has always been kind of the defining thing. And Stephen King, is one of those guys that I think when you get his stamp of approval on stuff, he
did chime in.
Outright says, I don't like remakes, I don't like reimaginings or whatever, what if you will. And he's like, this was great. And so, I mean, who am I to disagree with that guy when it comes to horror?
Yeah, I really thought that I didn't think this would hit like on a cultural level, but I think it almost made as big of a splash as like Stranger Things. Nothing really touches Stranger Things, but like everybody was talking about this show.
Yeah, they sure were.
And how good it was and how brilliant it was and how great the cast was. And they were all right, much like everyone's talking about Bird Box right now, but they're all wrong about it.
Yeah, but it's the same people, and that's scary to me.
Yeah, that's scary to me that the same people are.
Better. I know you know better because you were talking about this shit all of July.
You were right then when you were feeling it for that, not for this though.
No, not at all.
Anyways, I think that this show is like really good, and the way that they balance both the timelines is great. Like really, you're just going back to that one night over and over again, even though there's a series of nights and happenings. Like
just different perspectives. It's
really focused on kind of like that last night in the house, if you will, and once the reveals start happening at the end, and then you start thinking about, hey, what is that room? Like things start getting out of control bonkers, like where I felt like my brain was being fried. It was just really good. It had the right amount of like, I don't know, thought to the scares. Not that I like jumped or got spooked or anything like that, but like it was appropriately like spooky, like for an October show to come out like that. And it's hard to sustain like horror over the course of a show, I feel. Whereas it's easier to do it like for a 2-hour movie, hour 45-minute movie or whatever. Right. They were able to sustain a sense of suspense for 10 episodes or however long that show was. Yeah. And I thought that was like an amazing feat for them. It's super great, I think, again, I think people are talking about like, when are we going to get another one? It's like, you can't, did you see how it ended, you guys? Like
you can't duplicate
everything's fine now.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I don't know how they'll go. Maybe it'll be like American Horror Story or anthology series out or something like that. I have no idea, but like, I think that like, it scratched a niche that a lot of people were in need of, just a really good like horror TV show, and we got one. So let's go.
Yep.
I think there's like the best directing of a TV episode happened in Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
The episode 6 or something like that, where it's like it's almost like, I mean, there's some trickery, but for the most part, it's single take episode, and it's just brilliant, and it kind of forces you to stick with the relationships that you're seeing unfold and the conversations and stuff, because that's when the deep dive is that episode.
that's
where everybody's at in their relationship to each other and their own demons and stuff. Yeah,
you've already gotten everybody's individual.
Everyone got their singular episodes, and now it's time to tell the story. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And then after that, that's when all the reveals started fucking happening crazy. Right. And it's wild that this legitimately all these actors look like a family, for real.
They really do.
Oh my god, they're related, but they all stand out because their characters are so well written and defined. That you're that's
kids.
Yeah, that's the girl with the guy's name. I forget.
You can
the
tell
hot
by
girl
their
that can touch
behavior.
people. That can't touch people. I can't remember her name.
Can't touch people.
Theo.
Oh, Theo. Gosh. Yeah. It was that's the hot girl with the guy's name. I know who that is. You can tell them apart because you know who they are. It's not just right. Whatever.
Yeah, you know their personality.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, that kid's being a dick. Oh, that's Steven. Got it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that guy's a dick.
Man, he was such a dick.
Up until the end. Even when he's watching it unfold, he's
Queen Daenerys
not real.
left you, wouldn't you be a dick, you know?
Yeah, if I lost the mother of dragons, I think, it's especially on the battlefield.
On the battlefield.
Yeah.
Now
hey,
she's fucking her cousin or whatever.
Where did her dragon get hurt? Was it on the battlefield?
On the battlefield.
Hey, you know what game we've been playing a lot of together?
Yeah, I was going to say I'm going to play more than that.
Battlefield 5. Best job that I've ever had.
Best job I ever had.
Jesus Christ.
I just think of all the stupid inside jokes that we've come up with in the last year, I think that's my favorite.
The best job
it's one of them.
Yeah. The best job I ever had.
Best inside joke we ever had.
I don't know why. I just love that one.
Yeah,
and Andrew's in on it too. So
people don't know what it is. It's fucking Fury. Just watch the movie Fury, and there you go.
Well, he and I watched it about 2 weeks ago or last week or something, and so when I got in the tank, that's where it started. It's all right, best job I ever had.
The movie is fucking amazing.
We were doing particularly good that round too. We were murdering people.
Oh yeah, we were doing a good job, man. We were defending that crossroads.
I was dying horribly, and I was still saying it.
Yeah, I mean, now it's to the point where using it sarcastically is the appropriate usage of it.
Exactly.
But
especially when we're losing, it's just God, best job I ever had.
Best job I ever had. We've lost all the objectives. Best job I ever had. That movie pisses me off because it reminds me that David Ayer can make a good movie.
Yeah.
Fuck you, man.
Right.
That End of Watch. End of Watch is the same thing, where it's you watch those movies and you're like, how is that the same fucking director? That's just wild to me.
This is bright.
We should have been onto him when Sabotage came out. We should have been okay. Okay, he gets some fuckery going on.
Yep. So, Kyle, what's number 3?
My number 3 is the long-pushed Legion.
Legion. Okay.
Yeah, man. I like my shows confusing and almost, intentionally unfollowable. So
nailed it.
Unrecommendable.
That's how I like them. Twin Peaks won the year before, and Legion almost won this year. But anyways, I adore this show. Any show that I have to check in with you guys, where I'm just like, hey guys, a little lost here, guys. Let me just paint some stuff for you, and you guys have to kind of set me straight, or I have to go on YouTube and get set straight. I like that. Everything is there. I'm just dumb. But everything is also not there because a lot of stuff is open to interpretation, or it's just loose, until some of the final episodes or whatever. But for the most part, there is a thread that you're following that is followable, some breadcrumbs, if you will, And I don't know. I think the cast is just awesome in this, man. I fucking love the Concord's boy in this. Which one is he? He's Jermaine, right?
Yeah.
Jermaine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
just making sure.
Yes.
By the way, great stand-up special last year. Everyone go watch it. Yeah, I really like the whole cast, man. What's his face? Who played Beast and who's an Impossible this year? Man, I am doing shitty with names today.
Dan Stevens.
Dan Stevens.
Whitest guy ever, and he's British.
Yeah,
Dan Stevens.
It's an American name, and it's British as fuck. He did super good. I love how unhinged he is, and you don't really ever who are you? This is another one of those. Who are you rooting for in this season?
You don't know.
Am I rooting for the bad guy? And surely the version that he's being painted as is not who he's becoming. But then is he? And by the time everything kind of wraps up, you're still kind of even more in limbo because I think he's on the lam by the end of the season, right? Like he's like, no, I'm out of here, everybody. Y'all aren't going to contain this shit. So like, I don't know. I think it's going to go into some really interesting places next episode. And I still love all the timeline and Big. Like, I have no idea what year this takes place in.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it an 80s show? Is it in the future?
Is it a 70s show? Does it take place now? Like, I have no clue, but it doesn't matter either.
Yeah. That's what Maniac was telling us too. Was like, this is like a different version of the 80s, or it's like of the future, but we miss the 80s so much that all of our technology is now 80s based.
Yeah, right. We reverted in some way. It's just a visual feast, this whole show, it was a good rewatch. I had to go back and watch I've rewatched the second season since it's come out, so it's it works off the binge,
Cool.
Go watch some YouTube videos. People get really clever with this. Some people get a little lost in the weeds, and you're like, I don't know about all that, but other people, they feel spot on for some stuff. So yeah, good show to dive into. Go into a giant internet hole in.
For real, guys, for real. My number 3 is the correctly placed American Vandal.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3.
I mean, come on, dude. You really should have forced that one into number 2.
Yeah,
really
right. The only right number 2
is disappoint.
Oh fuck! I fucked up. All right. Well, never mind. I don't get to talk about it then. I'm disqualified. Yeah, I think this was just one of the most brilliant shows, like period, all year. I mean, to have your entire season be based on a shit-based prank. All of your episodes are titled after shit. Or something shit related.
A variance, yes.
Yeah, wiped clean, like leaving a mark, all backed up.
Right.
Yeah, all that stuff. And then they do the same thing that I think the first season the first season kind of gives us somebody different to latch onto, who's like the lead character or whatever, who I kind of empathize more with because he's like a likable dummy, and this one gives you like a guy who is completely unlikable that they hire. He's like eccentric and he seems like borderline, like he's gonna be like a school shooter or some shit. He's just fucking weird, and nobody likes him. But they're out to kind of vindicate this guy somehow. It's just as thrilling as season 1 was, and I think putting it this high was totally justified after they completely unrightfully canceled it. That's just like the saddest thing to happen in television.
Yeah, right. That's one of your good things, Netflix. You're dumb, and it can't cost that much to make. It can't.
No.
All these people are nobodies. Like nobody knows who any of these people are.
But also seeing how deep this conspiracy can go, and again, the show. I don't know how they fucking did this in season 1, and how they did it again in season 2, where as the conspiracy is, there's more reveals and stuff like that. I am just as enthralled in it as if it was like a real crime drama.
Yeah, like we'll never guess how this one's gonna end. Either. Yeah, it's so like, but it makes sense. Like everything makes sense. Just like, well, I would have never guessed it was going this way. It's just, it is a mystery you can latch onto and that you get inappropriately invested in.
It was more enthralling than the actual Making a Murderer season 2.
Yeah, season 2 was fucking atrocious. Now that I'm thinking back on it further, I'm like, wow, that was really bad.
It was just
straight up call it bad. I'm comfortable with that.
It was just pointless.
Yeah.
Like in the end.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you're a Google search away from the results of what's actually going on, and it added nothing to either of their situations, but whatever.
That's fine. All they got was like a confident lawyer lady. Good for her.
Yeah. Hey, she was great.
She's good. Yeah, she's good. She's great. So, I love the how the again. There's a message at the end of the season that like it's slightly different, but somewhat similar to season 1's message, where it's kind of this one's more about how we present ourselves in social media, whereas season 1 was kind of more about how we fit into our own roles, or how we our own roles as defined by other people. Because the guy that was kind of pigeonholed and pointed a finger at regarding the dick drawing stuff. He was pointed at because he is that dumb guy,
right.
And
he's a class clown.
Yeah, and he just like straight up admitted to doing it at the end because it's like, well, this is a role I got to fill. This is just who I am. This is what people expect of me. And this one is more about how people present themselves online and how they present one life a different way, and then like in private conversations online, it's with something totally different and with somebody totally different. Somebody that might not even exist. So that's a hell of a reveal too. Like the more that they dove into it, I was like, yeah, I did not see that coming at all. Like,
no, not at all.
The
not
layers to which they went to do like a shit prank is just insane to me. I did not see that coming.
No.
Even deeper than season one's, which ended on like a cliffhanger, like just totally unsolved. I mean, the clues are all there, and theories can be spread out to where you can kind of figure out who did it. But season 2 is like just wrapped up real nice. But that's because it had to be, because there were so many fucking like connected tissues.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, loved it. And season 3, sorry, episode. What am I trying to say? Fucking number 3, because it got canceled, more or less.
Yeah, right.
And because I loved it so much,
that.
but the cancellation was kind of like, all right, well, I have to stick to my guns here. It's got to stay number 3.
I mean, you could have gone on with this joke forever.
Yeah.
Had the same 2 boys and all of it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, we are not void of immature subject matter to tackle in a serious.
And all of their narrations are like, they make sure to sneak in a poop pun right before they cut to another scene, and
right. But that's what they do in like stupid like the show that Sarah Marshall show is making fun of, like can you say dick sickle, or like crime scene of the crime. They always work in those stupid fucking puns.
Yeah, right.
When they're talking about stuff, so I like that.
Yeah, same here. Loved it.
I like them making fun of it. Yeah,
same. Love the show so much. So that's my number 3. And do you have anything else to add on it, JD? Because you hated it clearly. Because
I hated it because I had it at 6, which is above the Iron Man threshold. But we are still, we're still in.
I had it at number 9, so I guess I truly.
Yeah, you guys clearly hated it.
Like, why even talk about it? Now, I mean, I'm just disappointed we're not getting more. And I mean, I think we've tackled it, man. This show is a treasure. I don't know anybody that doesn't like it. Anybody that I know that's watched it has come away.
Yeah, everyone I've showed
feeling
this show
similarly
to
us about it.
They're like, that was the funniest show I've ever seen. I'm like, I know. That's why I showed it to you. Like,
you're welcome. I'll expect my thank you card in the mail. That's fine.
Right.
Do that.
I expect you to show me the funniest show I've ever seen at some point in my life.
Just give some back.
Something. The heat's on you. I've done my job.
Yep. One of these days, you're gonna pay me a favor. Whatever. You're gonna pay it forward.
So JD, what is your number? Your incorrect number 2?
My incorrect number 2? I don't know, man. It seems like the right placement to me. It's Atlanta.
Goddamn right it is, motherfucker. Sorry, that's my number 2.
Good.
That's my number 2. Robin season. Atlanta.
Yeah, Robin season. Yeah. Man, this just tell me that fucking Donald Glover's not the greatest person in America right now.
Yeah. This is America.
What a disparity with the 2 Donalds in our lives.
I know.
You ever think about that?
I know, right?
Like it's like he rose so that he could balance the scale a little bit. Like he's the fucking Jedi, and you know what? He's in a Star Wars movie, so that metaphor really, that really works. Anyway, this show is fucking great. So it's not getting pushed for Kyle, is it?
No. He's racist.
Can I just be honest?
Yeah.
I forgot to put it on.
Oh shit! But you just finished it.
I love the way you said that. I forgot to put it.
Your list is on CPT, bro. That's fine. That's fine.
Oh my god.
Hey, it's fine.
It's fine.
I'm sorry.
Fine.
Sorry.
I apologize that JD said CPT. All right.
No, you don't. We are no.
I apologize for that.
Legal says this is my last episode, so if anybody needs
get it all out, then JD
podcast host, I will be available forever. Anyway, yeah, man, how fucking amazing was this season? Like,
so good.
I had to get caught up on the first one before this one dropped because I'm an idiot and didn't watch it when it aired. But like you said, with this one, every episode was its kind of own self-contained thing, and I mean, these characters are great, and this is one of those worlds that feels like oddly familiar. Not like on a personal level, but like it feels like it's real life, but at the same time it's so surreal in so many different places. Like the Teddy, what's his character's name? The Michael Jackson one, Teddy something?
Teddy Perkins.
Teddy Perkins. God, that's a weird last name.
I know.
Perkins.
Hey there.
Yeah, I'm Teddy Perkins.
My name is Teddy.
There's some fucked up, sorry to bother you type shit. And it's not just because it's Lakeith Stanfield, but also it kind of is.
No, but
there's
it kind of
crazy kind of shit going on in that episode.
Yeah, but it works in this one.
Anytime Lakeith starts going on tangents about time and the irrelevancy of like reality and stuff like that, I'm like, dude, he and I would be the greatest buddies in the entire world.
Like they're just getting ready to move.
We would have conversations all day about simulation theory and tinfoil hat shit. It'd be so great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and I'd be like, man, that's all great, but like, can you get up so we can go fucking like just go to McDonald's now or something? Yeah, but time is like a fucking construct, man. McDonald's will be there when you get there, man. Why you in a rush?
Exactly, and then we would get lost in another conversation,
and then you get lost
to
on the way home. And yeah, exactly. Oh man, he's great.
It's hard to pick a favorite episode though. I know Teddy Perkins is so iconic because Donald Glover totally inhabited that role completely to the point of mystery.
Right.
And it's a very, obviously very similar to other famous, kind of like black successful actors or musicians that were also abused by stage parents. Not just Michael Jackson, but clearly Michael Jackson and Marvin Gaye and stuff like that. Yeah. There's clearly, obviously, a message that's being sent in that show, in that episode. But yeah, like the one where Paperboy gets lost in the woods. I thought that was a brilliant kind of horror episode.
Great, because he's so terrified.
Yeah,
I'm gonna gut you, boy.
I was scared for him. And then it has like a brilliant ending where he just stops giving a fuck and he's like, "All right, cool, I survived something, so yeah, I'm gonna get a picture with you." Get a picture of this shit. Like even in his worst physical state, somebody still wants to have a picture with him. And then the one that I related to the most was Ern going on a date with Van at the that stupid ass festival.
That one was really that was a sweet episode.
Yeah, and not just I don't relate to the part where they couldn't identify culturally with anything that was happening in that fucking episode.
Yeah.
Like they were just kind of like, I don't understand all this German white shit. Like it was just I don't understand this. But in terms of the date just being awkward at every turn, every single turn, it was just awkward no matter what.
Yeah.
And you just didn't click that night or whatever, and it just felt so fucking like real. Obviously the ending ended up being totally different than anything I've ever done, where they were like betting stakes and shit over a game of
ping pong.
Ping pong.
Yeah, ping pong.
Still, that was really great.
Chinese call it ping pong.
You're so cultured.
I mean, it's okay.
I love the episode where it's just Van going out with her friends too, and it's like Drake's house, but it's just a fucking cardboard cutout.
That's actually one of my favorite
episodes. Some fucking fake Instagram influencer wannabe person.
Yeah, and I love the whole commentary on how like there's a whole commentary there about females having to beauty themselves up for social media and shit like that, and yeah, this show is just
Barbershop was. I love that.
Oh, that was good. Yeah,
Paperboy Annoyed.
Oh, that one was brilliant. Oh man, that is
my favorite thing in this show is watching him just be so fucking annoyed with the stupid shit around him.
And he put up with
is perfect.
A lot from that guy.
I'm patient. I'm patient. I would have shot that motherfucker at Zaxby's, bro. Like, you don't fucking. Yeah. You do not tell me that Zaxby's is on the table. Drive me to a house that you're about to steal lumber from. Pull Zaxby's out of a microwave and give it like half-eaten Zaxby. No, dude, I will fucking kill you for that.
His reaction to being asked to be like Zaxby's, though, it's like top 10 comedy moments of the year. Just motherfucker, are you crazy? I love Zaxby.
And that actor,
that's the appropriate reaction, by the way. It's very.
That actor who played, they got the perfect actor to play that numbnuts barber.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's just, I'd never seen him before, but like, damn, he was hilarious.
Is he the guy that shows up at the end where he's knocking on their door looking for him?
I don't remember.
Oh man, like okay.
I did like the
Tracy. Tracy's the one that's knocking at the door.
Okay. I remember. It's been forever.
I did like Ern deciding to fight. That was a good episode too.
Oh yeah.
Pull this car over. I'm gonna beat this dude's ass. Yeah. And he gets the shit kicked out.
What was the one where Ern and Paperboy are hanging out with a producer, and it's like all these black dudes, and the white guy is like the engineer, and he's like, my program just crashed again. All right.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna have to get out.
Listen, I would never lay a hand on you. I personally would never lay a hand on you, but there are other hands out there, and I don't control those. It's just so passive aggressive.
And he's like, y'all should probably get out now.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Oh my
god.
God.
We were all done. We were heading out. All right. See you later.
They're acting so casual, like it was their idea. Like, all right, well, we should.
Exactly.
We should get out of here now.
Anyways.
Fuck.
Oh man.
And I do love the ending too, of like, because it's called Robin season for a reason. Like there's something that's being stolen from somebody by the end of every episode, more or less. And finally, in the finale, you have Ern doing something that kind of like he's stealing something because he's tries to maintain a level head and be pure and good in being part of the game that he's in, and he just he succumbs to fucking doing dirty tactics and shit, so his own crew won't get in trouble for something, and he frames somebody for doing something they didn't do, and yeah, man, that's some.
Dude, it was good. Whew, I like that.
That was really good. And like he was just about to quit for like Paperboy too. Like he was like, "No, I'm done," and then it's like, "No, you're not done after that shit." Like,
yeah.
No, you're in this now, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
But then I like also the realization too that that he learned his lesson there, that you got to stick up for your crew. You're around your guy to take the fall for him. Like that's what the crew is there for.
And like this Paperboy realizing that too. It's just like your family, like you're not going anywhere. Right. You're the only person who realized how real I am. Like no matter what happens, like there's always a spot for you.
And that's perfectly timed with the fake FUBU jersey episode being right before the finale, because it really shows you like, dude, these guys were childhood. They've been around in each other's lives because they're family, but like I didn't spend a whole lot of time with my cousins growing up like that. That is a special thing, when you're actually friends with the people that are your family as well. So that's great.
Yeah, this the guy who's directing a lot of the episodes, and he directed This Is America as well, Hiro Murai.
Oh,
nice! A ton of these episodes.
Good.
Like 7 of them or whatever, and I think he's finally getting a movie, if I'm not mistaken. It's coming out this year. Stars.
Guy's got some style, man.
That's the one that remember there was a leak like last year, like late last year, where like Donald Glover and Rihanna took a picture together, and everybody was like, "Oh my god, they're doing a movie together!" And I was like, "What? Fuck no way!" And that's the movie they're doing together is something with that director, and that dude just has a hell of an eye, dude. So. Yeah, I'm excited to see what else he does.
Yeah,
and it looks like Amy Seimetz, I don't know how to say her last name, but she is the one that brought the Girlfriend Experience to Stars and made it good. Like she's the one that brought the show out, the Girlfriend Experience, and she's directed like all those episodes and half the episodes from season 2. And she's just got a brilliant eye too. She directed the one where they do the Fastnacht celebration, the Ern and Van go to that German whatever. Yeah. So she directed that one. So like, man, they're just getting top-notch directors, and Donald Glover's being a good director too and shit. Like,
yeah, I mean, he's got every talent. What is he not good at? Like, find me a thing.
Right. Yeah, seriously.
Settling down, apparently.
Yeah.
Like, that's all he does. He's on the grind constantly, man.
Yeah,
like,
seriously.
He's
stop doing
everything shit. He's like James Franco on steroids, man.
Yeah.
Because he's actually great at everything.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
He doesn't squint as much, though. So that's a negative.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, by the way, I forgot to tell everybody, if Beale Street could talk, which is fantastic, and it won't be brought up in my list next week, but surprise Dave Franco appearance in that fucking movie.
Oh, wow. That's,
very clearly and unapologetically like a black, like, American story. And then randomly there's Dave Franco pretending to be like a Jewish person. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's awesome.
It's like it's a great role, but like it's from the book, but like no, he plays somebody who's like who's renting out property to the 2 lead characters.
Oh, okay.
And it just shows like a different rapport between this white person and the couple, whereas there's like a different dynamic between like other white people and that couple in the movie. Anyway, that's a great fucking movie. Just wanted to, I don't know why, felt like because you brought up Squints, felt like bringing up a random Squints Jr. story.
There we go.
Who's next? Kyle's next with his number 2.
I don't have one.
Oh, okay, cool. Bye.
I abstain. My number 2, and it held at number 2 since last time I did our top 5s back in the summer.
Wow.
It's still Altered Carbon.
Holy shit!
It is.
Fucking love this show so much.
Body bag.
It's everything that Kyle loves and a few things that Kyle hates, like the actor who did fine. But God, just get anybody but him next season, which they did.
Yeah, good for them. Anthony Mackie, I got to give them
God. At least
big time props for that.
You know, he'll be able to like show in a range of emotions and stuff like that. I really love this show. If you're a show that's based in a very Blade Runner like future and uses pretty, you know, like good set design and stuff like that, probably gonna like your show unless you're mute. Even though that place kind of boring. A lot of the shots in that movie, it's just like, oh boy, this world looks boring to live in. No wonder everyone, you know, doesn't give a shit about being here. But Altered Carbon, it's very corny at sometimes. The dialogue can be really corny, like some of the moments can be kind of corny or whatever. But fuck, if you're a dude who's still using like a samurai sword in the future when people have like laser guns and stuff, you're getting Kyle points. You're getting Kyle points. All right, I'm handing them out. I'm handing out the Kyle points with shit like that. I just love that stupid shit. That there's always just an echo of old versus new there. You know, it's something I enjoy in just anything. I like Sky's mom. She's great and everything. The girl from Dollhouse.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Yeah, I love her.
She's real naked in this. So.
Yeah, super naked.
So if you want to see just everything,
fantastic.
Go watch this movie because you'll see it all. And she's great in this. They have a really weird brother-sister relationship. They're a little too... I mean, I'm not that close with my sister, I'll just say. They seem a little too close at sometimes. Right. But it's a wacky story, and like I really like a show like this feels like it would kind of lose steam at the end, and it actually gains steam. It actually, like, I feel like it's maybe a little slow to start, and the momentum just kicks up as the action starts kicking up and everything. And there are just a lot of really standout action sequences in this entire show, and everything just looks good. Nothing feels cheap. Nothing looks cheap. Everything just looks like people paid money, you know, to have this come to fruition. And I just really enjoyed it. I love shit like this, man. It gets me in that like, holy shit, I'm excited as fuck for Cyberpunk 2077 or whatever when that finally comes out. So it's just of that aesthetic and of that nature and everything. And another handing out Kyle points thing is if you're a TV show about or just anything about like having your conscience put into something else or someone else, you're getting Kyle points. Love shit like that. I love just downloading conscience, just all that singularity bullshit. So like it just hits a lot of like just genres and like little arcs and little things that like I really like personally. So that's why it held on to number 2 all year.
Cool.
Cucky. I mean, perfect.
Cucky. Yeah, whatever. Let's see what your number 1 is. We'll figure out who's got
Yeah, I know. Oh, boy. Y'all are going to get real mad. All right.
I know what it is.
There better be a black fucking hat, I'll tell you.
No? All right.
Yeah, right.
Like, I was like trying to think back on episodes.
But there was a scene where actually...
I'm pretty sure he wears one. I don't know.
Maybe it's a baseball cap, but it's black.
Yeah, honorable mentions time, because I already talked about Atlanta. That was my number 2.
That was your number.
Nice.
Yeah, so, yes, honorable mentions, some that were already mentioned were for me were Bodyguard, Castle Rock, Haunting of Hill House, and Love, and one's about to be mentioned. All right, so I also loved, speaking of documentary series, Evil Genius. I know JD saw this one.
Yes, God, that was fucking fascinating.
Right? Like, fascinating as fuck, and super, it made me feel icky, too, by the end of it, because I was like, clearly this lady has mental problems, and you're accusing her of shit. But it's still a fascinating story, because there's way more going on than what's on the surface. Even on the surface, it's a weird fucking story. I got a bomb on me. It's gonna blow up. Like, he's just so casual. Like,
blows up in the middle of the street.
Yeah,
and you're like, okay, cool.
You're like,
pizza guy's really dead. What the fuck?
Yeah, great show though. Good short watch too. I really like Dear White People. That show just fucking gets to me because it even though the title is like purposefully triggering and stuff. I feel like there's just more sides being presented than what people are aware of, even in the community of what we affectionately call SJWs. There's different sides going on there too, where like some people are so far down the rabbit hole of like being offended that others in the cast are like, and other characters are like, dude, what the fuck? Like, no, like, get the fuck out of here. No, that's wrong. There's an entire episode where it's like 2 characters. It's the lead character and her ex-boyfriend. They're interviewing each other for. She's interviewing him for her radio show, and he's interviewing her for a documentary about something racially charged that happened on the campus. And That's the entire episode. It's like a half hour of them in her studio just talking to each other, and it's fucking riveting. Like, it's just dialogue driven, like could be a single act play, and it's just brilliant writing. That's why I love the show so much. Brilliantly shot and written. Love that show. I know you guys saw It's Always Sunny too. That was just
great season.
When do they not do a good season though, right? Like, I mean,
I don't think I've ever been like, yeah, not their best season.
Yeah.
Like whenever their season wraps up, you know.
I know, right?
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that Dennis bait and switch in the first episode was fantastic.
That was so funny.
That was so good.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh boy, yeah, I love that, and the finale too was just one of the best things I've ever done. Period. Like, it was just
that moment. Like, you guys even prepared me for it.
Yeah,
and I wasn't ready for it.
I forgot what show I was watching.
Yeah,
yeah.
Just whoa.
And I like that there's a layer of comedy and also tragedy to Danny DeVito's. I always forget Frank saying, "Oh my God, I get it." Like, I want to laugh, but at the same time, when he said that, I was like, "Me too." Like,
yeah,
it was
same here. Yeah, there's a storm brewing in me.
Yeah, I love that moment, dude.
Mac.
And then doing the female reboot version of the drinking on the plane.
Yes,
I like that. Yeah.
Oh my God, that shit was so fucking funny. And she's like constantly trying to like be like, "No, guys, that's how it works now. Nobody wants anything to do with her agenda."
No, they just want to get drunk in their own way, or pass out, or do their own thing, or get distracted. Artemis wants to like start selling something, right? Or she starts pushing something while she's up there. I can't remember what it is.
I can't recall. It's a show. It's a season that I was gonna say this about Maniac. I like think about it and then I'm like, I gotta watch that again. I just gotta watch that fucking season again because I want to remember those episodes. Maniac was that way too. Like, I finished it and I was like, I kind of want to like experience those different realities again. Yeah, man, It's Always Sunny is one of them. Do you guys have a few?
Yeah, I've got a few here. I thought I got a couple anime. Let me just get those out of here. My Hero Academia, super good. Had a lot of fun with it. FLCL, progressive, very good. Had a lot of fun with it. We'll just move on from those because don't want to put y'all to sleep. Star Wars Rebels wrapped up last year. Stuck the landing, super fucking good.
Awesome.
And Ash vs. Evil Dead got canceled. Really, really good ending. You could tell that like the next season they're gonna do was gonna be way fucking expensive, and I wonder if that was going to.
Oh.
I wonder if that had something to do with like it getting canceled.
Damn it.
I was like, wait, what are y'all doing? Y'all are in the future now, and it's like Mad Max, but like, okay, yeah, that's way too expensive. No one's ever gonna sign off on that. But anyways, yeah, I really like Ash vs. Evil Dead. That show is just so fucking funny to me.
They'll do a movie, I'm sure.
I hope so. He says he's done with that character, but whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sure he said that before too.
That's good.
I still got Vikings on here. First half of Arrested Development was pretty funny. Yeah, I guess that's it. Oh, here a couple that don't really deserve to be on an honorable mention list, but don't deserve to be as good as they are either. Cobra Kai and Lost in Space.
Cobra
Kai is amazing for what it was.
So better than
it has no idea. It has no right to be as good as it is.
Yeah,
no, none at all.
And the dynamic being changed from like the movie, what we know about the movie and stuff, was very interesting.
It's like somebody ran with the Stinson, like, Billy Zabka's the good guy.
No, I think that's exactly what happened.
Somebody ran with that and actually did it seriously, and that's what we got. And
when I pitch it to people, I'm like, do you know How I Met Your Mother? You know, Barney's like, outtake. I'm like, that's what the whole show is. They're like, really? Yeah. That sounds kind of stupid. I'm like, it's great. It's actually really
trust me, it's great. And it knows that it's a dumb premise.
The bad guy's so much better. Like, because nobody likes that guy.
Yeah, not anymore. He's just too. He's too sure of himself now. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, I have to shout them out, even though I felt it was kind of weaker than season 1 in terms of pacing, whereas everybody will disagree with me on that. There were still like so many key moments like that just fucking stick the landing more than any other TV show. And Rachel Brosnahan is putting in like a performance of a lifetime.
She's getting statues like fucking crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
So, good for her.
She totally just embodies a totally different person. It's like the person I mentioned before, Patricia Arquette, I believe, who like just totally puts on a different voice and like just a different look and stuff, and like you're like, I watched the show and I'm like, yeah, you're that person. Like, congratulations, you're fucking great. Silicon Valley.
Yeah, that is an
great new season.
Didn't need that weird guy.
Yeah,
didn't need him.
Didn't need him at all. Like, this
show went on without him and then is doing fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I omitted like so many comedies for this one, like from my honorable mentions, because this one I just felt this one delivered real hard on the jokes too, especially like what's the thing he says with the piss? Kiss my piss.
Kiss my piss, something like that. Yeah.
That's a great. That's such a great.
He's trying to be like a badass asshole or whatever, and it's just like that's what comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, and then he brings it up later because it's still fresh in his memory, but he does it like at the right time. But it's still a line that's so stupid, but we know what it's from.
Right.
It's so brilliant. God damn it, that's so brilliant.
Who's the weird, quirky guy? His assistant or whatever? Whatever his name is, like just giving it to like the new assistant.
Yeah,
I call him
like
Gabe.
all season.
He's
just like, did he make your sandwich all right? Just nitpicking every little thing until it like breaks him. You know, it's so fucking hilarious. An ongoing joke that just pays off really well in like the final episodes or whatever.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Yeah, and I like instead of it being like everything's changed at the end of the season like it always is, it's literally every season ends that way where it's like, oh no, guys, we're fucked.
They get the thing,
and no, but that's not how it ended this season. I'm like, yay!
Yeah.
I like that. A new watch for me because I had to catch up on the first season was Ozark, and I thought that show was just goddamn brilliant. Like,
gotta get to that show.
These guys, I can't think of one like. What's the word I'm looking for? Redeemable character in this show, but they're doing like I don't know. The suspense is just fucking real. You know what I mean? Like the suspense is like every single episode, and season 2 even more than season 1 has every episode just stressing you the fuck out. Because even though they're doing irredeemable things, it was thrust upon Jason Bateman and his family. You know what I mean? Like it's not like they're doing it by choice. So it's. You just don't want them to get caught, and every time you think they do, they're just good at spinning shit. You know what I mean? Like his character's so brilliant at like just as soon as he's in like some dilemma or whatever, where somebody's like, "Hey, what are you doing over here?" He's like, "Oh, here's what I'm doing over here. Let me tell you this," and then he paints like this whole story, and it's like, okay, that's fucking good. Like you got me. That's good. I love the show, man. And The Affair was the other one I wanted to mention, which killed a major character, and I couldn't fucking believe they did it.
Oh yeah, you were like. Going crazy when that happened.
Yeah, I could not fucking believe. And then like her whole, I guess it's kind of a spoiler saying the gender. Her whole, ma'am, it's ma'am.
It's spam.
It's
sorry.
Spam.
Sorry. Her whole, that's
green eggs and ma'am.
I'm sorry for mocking that. I already apologized for everything though. So
the whole internet is.
Yeah, we're good.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Amnesty Cloud.
But when that happened, and then like the follow up to that, where it kind of reveals what happened, they revealed 2 versions of what happened, and they don't tell you which one's real.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
that's ballsy as fuck.
Yeah, I know. So I was like, "Oh man, what the fuck am I supposed to make of this?" It's 2 totally different scenarios. Actually, you know what? One of them kind of played out like a dreamlike scenario, though, that didn't end as horribly. But yeah, it was just completely shocking because it was something that like it was like episode 6 in the season of 10 episodes, and it was like by the end of the episode, these guys together, Joshua Jackson, Quack Quack, and and Dominic West are like together trying to find this woman, and like they're just at a house like somebody's house, and they get a phone call. And they're like, "Oh yeah, she's dead." And I'm like, "What the fuck? You fucking killed her off camera? What the fuck?" Like it was just so mind blowing. And I thought they did. You know, it wasn't like her story. A lot of people are kind of shitting on it, like maybe they're just kind of desperate for views or whatever. But I didn't feel that way. Like I felt that it was kind of, I don't know. It committed to the. I don't know. It helped the story in the right way. I think. Whatever. People can suck it. I liked it. That's all I have for honorable mentions.
We didn't talk about Better Call Saul. That was good.
Saul was great. Yeah,
Saul was good.
You know,
reliably good.
You know, I feel like we felt like we were getting to like Breaking Bad-ish type stuff finally starting to happen for the last 2 seasons now.
Yeah,
so
we're definitely there now with his last line in the show.
With the last line, like we're finally there, confirmed he is Saul.
Yeah,
like that's who he is now. So. I'm excited to see what they get out. I mean, I'm assuming we're getting 2 more seasons. I think they wanted to keep this one pretty tight.
Similar to, I would imagine they want to handle it similar to Breaking Bad, but they haven't said yet. You know,
they haven't confirmed it, but we're getting so close that I think 2 seasons is about all you can.
6 seasons in a movie. That's what I heard.
Yeah. Rick Grimes is going to be there too because it's AMC boy.
Oh boy. I don't know why I keep quoting that fucking scene from Wildlife.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah,
I
like,
know what you mean.
Where like Jake Gyllenhaal's
like
character
pacing
finds
outside.
out, and he's like,
boy.
oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And I'm like, he's so dead serious and angry when he says that. It's like only Jake Gyllenhaal can fucking pull that off. I keep saying that though, like, oh boy, ever since I saw that movie.
He's got me so hyped for Velvet Buzzsaw, dude.
Dude,
like,
me too. That's
oh my God.
quite an eccentric
big time.
character there. Yeah. Okay, so my number one, I'm gonna do mine first, so we can together talk about y'all's number one, which is the same because y'all are predictable as shit. All right, so my number one,
so predictable.
yeah. Fuck us for liking the best stuff on TV, right?
Right. Even though everybody
I
hated
did like-
it this year, but whatever.
Exactly. I did like the best stuff on TV. That's why it's my number one. So my number one is Sneaky Pete. Fucking snuck up to number one.
Is this the first season or what is this?
Second season of Amazon series, and it is starring Perkins Sherbengop. I don't remember his name. I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. The guy who looks like the dude from The Thing. He's great in it, though. The lead guy is fantastic in it. So I think I told you guys the premise where he gets released from prison, but he takes on somebody else's identity because he owes, in the first season, he owes Bryan Cranston's character a shit ton of money. Mm-hmm. So he takes on the identity of somebody who was imprisoned super early in his life, and he can kind of pass off as an older version of him. So he takes on this dude's life, goes to that dude's family, pretends to be that guy. Hey, I'm your brother. I'm your son. And as season one progresses, you're like, oh my God, this family's in some deep shit too. So it's like worse. And season two is just him keeping up the facade because he decides that he likes his family or that fake family more than he likes, his actual life. After clearing up whatever that debt was with Bryan Cranston. Actually, I think his character went to prison anyway, spoilers on season one. But season two even includes a part where he has to break the real Pete out of prison. And he has to pretend to be him. Pete has to pretend to be the main character of the show, who's pretending to be Pete. It's a fucking mindfuck of a goddamn scam. That's what every couple episodes you have like him pretending to do him doing like a scam or whatever of some kind because he's a scam artist. And he's just fucking brilliant at it, dude. Like he's so good at like he doesn't put on disguises or whatever, but he goes into a place, puts on a different accent or something, pretends to be somebody else, and he's just so fucking convincing and charming and just finds a way to con people out of money and stuff. And it's such a brilliant show, such great writing. It held strong at number one from when I first watched it in March. And I at least convinced one person to watch it who agreed with me that it was an amazing show. So that felt good.
And it's the little wins.
And exactly. And it's the guy who normally when I bring him up to you guys, I'm like, oh, it's my friend who hates movies. Like he just hates movies a lot. Like in terms of like movies that I love, and he'll always find something wrong with it. And he loved this show, so it has to mean something because he's normally a curmudgeon. I love the show. Really smart. Go watch it, everybody. Amazon. First 2 seasons are really good. I think it's by the guy who did Justified.
Justified.
So Justified.
I'm Rylan Givens.
He needs to be in the show, man. I'm trying to remember who else is in the show. I think Margot Martindale, whatever her fucking name is, she was in Justified as one of the villains for a season. And she was really great, and she's fantastic. She plays the mother of the family that he infiltrates.
Cool.
And she's fantastic. No shock there, though, because she's just delivers. Giovanni Ribisi is the main guy. That's who it is.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to remember who else is in this season 2. I don't recognize anybody else's. There's not a whole lot of names. Ethan Embry is the guy that plays the real Pete, so you can see the resemblance if you look at them in pictures. You can see them pass off for each other.
Yeah, I see it.
Like if one of them went to prison super young, the other one could pass for an older version of him. It's good shit, man. It's really, really good shit. And I think that's all I got because I know you guys have a lot more to talk about because your show is much deeper than mine. It's like from a conceptual level. Hey guys, what's your number one?
Hey, are you ready, Kyle?
Can I go or do you want to go?
Did you want to go?
Did you want to go? Yeah, let me do it.
Okay, do it. All right.
Okay. My number one is Ghosted with okay, I'm sorry.
That poor show. Fucking Adam Scott and Craig Robinson deserve so much better.
Oh man.
They sure do. They really do. It's Westworld.
Westworld like fucking crazy, man.
I feel like whenever I'm talking to people about this show, because it's one of those things where I just miss the hate culture on this show. I guess I had my head buried whenever I was fighting people about Last Jedi or whatever. I was, I'll bring that show up, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I stopped watching that show like 2 or 3 episodes into the season." I'm like, "What happened?
Why?
What am I taking crazy pills? We all hate this show now? Like what? Like Westworld just like fell apart for people? Oh, I just thought the first season was fine and it should just ended there." I'm like, "Oh man, there's so much great shit happening this season." My mind was blown on multiple occasions this entire season. And it was very like they do the kind of like muddled timeline thing again, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's old hat," and I'm like, "It's still new. Like it's still kind of like they just did it one time last season, like." And I don't feel like they reused tricks or anything like that. All the tricks and reveals were new, and then it ends in one giant like, "Oh my God, was any of it real?" type of thing. Like it just. It's very, very, very complex and very deep. And man, we were asking each other philosophical questions like every single week when we were touching base and just going like, "Are these people even real?" Like it just there's so much to extrapolate and unpack with every single episode. And was it Will, Black Hat guy? That's his name, right? Will?
Yeah, Will. Yeah.
Yeah. He's just a fucking great character, man. And there's a whole like dare I call it like Prey the video game like episode, Groundhog's Day episode, if you want to be a little more culturally relevant. Yeah. Where like it's an episode where the guy like his father-in-law is going through the same like he's awaking as a new version of himself like every single morning or whatever, and like going through the same kind of like testing processes and questioning and everything.
Right.
And it's very just like. You don't realize what's going on at first, and then you realize halfway through the episode what exactly is going on, and it keeps on going through those loops, and it's just, oh my God, there were so many standout moments this entire season. Yeah. People you thought were dead are back. People you didn't even know were robots are robots, like it's just, it's fucking crazy, and the next season's going to be even crazier. It's like, I think that whenever Jurassic World 2 ended this year, they thought they had a clever ending like this movie did, or this show did.
Yeah.
Because it kind of ends similarly, like in ways, if you're being really reductive, in terms of just like, hey, the park attractions are out of the park now, and who the fuck knows what's going to happen now, and I'm really excited for the future of this show in a very, very big way, and I hope that, like, nothing is being course corrected to like appease the masses, because like a lot of people were not happy with this, and I just think that like it might just be a little too smart for them. It was the year of things being too smart for consumers this year with Red Dead and this show and stuff like that. And sorry everybody. Yeah. Sorry, and Annihilation. Sorry everybody, you dumb. That's what I'm saying. I hope that they don't like dumb it down like to like appease people next season.
I don't think they will, and I agree with you. I don't think they should at all. I mean,
people were calling like the samurai world like completely. So I just thought that whole entire thing was useless. I was like,
but okay.
I don't. What do you want me to? I mean, where do I start with that? Like, I don't.
Aren't you the same people that wanted different variety of, like, you wanted to get more than just Westworld? You were curious to see what other worlds there are. Like, why do you need a reason to go to those other parks? They're there. And
it was cool to see that it was like the same stories that were happening.
The same basic roles. Yeah,
same,
like
same
it's just
character
a different
template,
skin on it.
Same everything. So like them meeting themselves, or the Asian version of themselves, or this story's version of it, those parallels were so cool, man. And smart. And like again, if it just went over your head. Sorry.
Yeah,
like I don't know what to tell you, like I don't know. I could go on and on about this show. I think it's great. JD, I've been stealing the mic. Why don't you?
No, I mean you're dude, we're of one mind on this one. Like this is just like you said, like the week to me, this one, like I would not be able to binge the show for a first watch. Because it's just there's so much to unpack and decompress after every episode. Like you could really do a shot by shot dissection of this stuff, and you would be not wasting your time at all. There's so much there. And it's like I don't know, one of my favorite things definitely was the stuff with Delos, the Will's father-in-law, like you were saying. Everything with Bernard is just super fascinating to me, like his role in all this. A lot of the time jump centered around him, like he was kind of your your focal point, bouncing around between Wynn and this like military operation that's going in there to clean everything up, like trying to. He was kind of a good spot to stay focused on, but I mean, there's so many.
Even then, you're like, what Bernard am I looking at right now?
Exactly.
Is this
you don't
past,
know.
present, or future Bernard?
Is this the real Arthur? Is this upgraded Bernard? Like, what?
Right.
That's the nature of this character, is that he is Ford's creation. So he is as far whatever version of him he is at the time is something that Ford thought out well before his death. He's not going away. He might be dead, but he's not going away. Anthony Hopkins' character, his fingerprints are everywhere. He's touching everything that's happening.
Oh my God, yeah, his fingerprints are all over everything.
It is all by his design, man. And like these guys out in the real world, I can't help but think that not only was that part of the plan, but that he's got some sort of an infrastructure in place, like in the real world. So just how far does it go out?
The game continues even outside of outside of his island,
Yeah, exactly. And man, I just because you can't help but think that he's just one of those guys that just sees everything, every possible outcome. He's fucking Doctor Strange, you know. He can see the inevitability of where things are going, and I hope the show sticks to that cerebral type stuff, because that was the most challenging television show. I mean, Legion might be in that same conversation, just as far as like how do you explain or figure out what's going on. Like it does require that homework or conversations with other people to kind of piece things together, but this one to me is the more relevant type of mind-blowing, because I don't think on a technological level that we're that far away from this type of stuff being a real possibility.
We're fucking robots already, so
we've already got sex robots, and once porn embraces something, it's only a matter of time before the rest of the world does in every industry. And that's the baser part of it, but just like human intelligence and implanting your memories in a machine, so
machines
that changes the concept of death. Right? Because you might physically be dead, but if your consciousness is in something, are you truly alive through that person? Like, are you alive, or is it just your life echoing through all that? Like, it just changes the fundamental debate between life and death. And I don't know, stuff like that just absolutely fascinates me.
God, yeah, when they're all like corralling and hurting like through that portal to upload themselves to Westworld Cloud or whatever,
right?
And like their dead bodies go out the other side and off the cliff. But then like you see them going into the pastures of like the digital world. Just fucking amazingly shot. I love that scene so much. I love it. There's a lot of great just like eyeball pleasing things like in this. And I like the more people just kind of show up just to die too. Like Gus and just a bunch of people just kind of show up just to die. And I like how they kind of build out Will's like daughter's character like really quickly, and like you get like you're pretty. I was pretty attached to her pretty quick, and then things kind of
same.
Things kind of take a turn. And you're just like, wait, what the fuck? There's a lot of just really, really, really great moments in this show. I think it's one of the more better written shows out there. I think everybody in this show's acting their fucking asses off. It's and Dolores, evil Dolores is way cooler than like fucking helpless Dolores like all day. I'd watch her shoot suits like all day, man. Just her torturing like humans and anyone she can get her hands on. It was so fucking awful. It was in the right ways, in appropriate ways.
But her still using innocent Dolores as like a tool.
Yeah.
That's what's fucking shit. Cool. Yep.
Especially with Teddy, as she keeps on like stringing Teddy along and stuff like that.
Yeah, Teddy, what a tragic story.
Heartbreaking.
Oh boy, yeah. Poor Teddy.
He was like
his
the
whole
one
life is just tragic.
Well, yeah, he was just like the one optimistic guy who was just kind of like still had that gleam in his eye, but he hated being used for a cause.
Yeah.
So he was just like,
and he knew he had been altered. He took it pretty personally.
Yeah, as people should. But he was like the last good one. It felt like. Well,
and then didn't she upload him up into like the digital?
Yeah, she
world
stole it from him anyway. Didn't even let him.
There was a nice little moment there, where it's just like, oh, she really did care for him. It's just like her goals superseded anything else in her life, and her being, her prime motive, if you will.
Yeah, because what other reason is there to keep him around, his consciousness around, other than to just adore it and cherish it and stuff,
Right. Right.
Yeah, really good show. It's literally like number 11 or 12 for me. Like that's how close it is to my fucking list. It just came down to I felt like the second me personally, I just felt like to be completely honest with you guys, I just felt like the second half was stronger than the first half. That was the only complaint I had. Really,
I wouldn't disagree. I wouldn't disagree with that. I'd have to go back and watch it again.
I think it's less of a complaint and more of just kind of how it is.
Yeah.
Also, so
like I would never say that I was bored by anything happening, but I was just
no.
Like,
it's obviously the pace picks up. Like in the later half.
I was just kind of like, oh man, I hope this is going somewhere, and sure enough, it was. But obviously,
they had a lot of dominoes to set up before they knocked them down.
Sure fucking did.
Yeah,
it's like watching V set up that domino set in V for Vendetta where he knocks it down, and you're like, man, that had to have taken him like 24 hours.
I know, and I bet he had a couple of mess ups where he like sneezed and they all fell over, and he's just like, I had 3 more left. Fuck.
Achoo! Shit. Thank God for this mask. Machines. All right. I love Westworld though, so I'm like, everything you guys said, I'm with you on, and I don't subscribe to all the hate of it either.
A lot of hate out there.
A lot of hate out there, dude. Oh my God.
I don't know how
Why are all the things that we love being hated?
I don't know, man. It was definitely the last Jedi of TV shows for me because like whenever I'd bring it up with some people, they'd be like, "Fuck you, show's terrible."
Yeah,
and others would be like, "Yeah, it's goddamn genius" or whatever.
Yeah, but those people were like, "Yeah, did you see Walking Dead last week?" Like, fuck you, man.
Exactly.
Like, get the fuck out with that. Are you kidding me? You really got to stick with it now. No, you don't. You can just stop. I did it.
So that's our top 10 list. And clearly, we're all very correct in our own lists. And if you don't have any of these in your list or consider it or for your list, then you're fucking wrong.
You're wrong. Yeah.
Real quick, I'm just going to mention some anticipated ones that I had in my list. I don't know if you all had any of these offhand or in your list currently. But obviously, Game of Thrones, we're all very excited for. Last season, we have no idea how it's going to end. None of
movies.
Us. Just
a bunch of movies.
I hope it ends in
6 movies.
Just big flaccid dongs. I hope that's like the last scene of the entire. Just
big
really
ones.
Go out, really embracing what made it famous.
Oh, by the way, I totally forgot. In Future Man, there's a gag where every time they time travel, they splice a body part with another person. Mm-hmm. And so Jush's character inherits Wolf's dick, which is ginormous.
So he has a gigantic dick.
Yes.
But
so there's a part in the first episode of season 2.
Jush's dick.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a part in season 2 where like at the first episode where Jush gets out of like a tub or whatever. Yeah. And it's a giant dick. And I was like, what the fuck?
It's so fucking big.
I totally forgot about it.
My favorite thing is the guy going every time I grab Jush's dick. It's like an interdimensional or interdimensional like handshake or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so great.
And there's a scene later on where Wolf has to disrobe, and everybody's like shocked that his penis is normal sized. It's such a great scene. I can't wait for you guys to watch that. Anyway,
I'm like 3 episodes in. It's great.
Oh, awesome. You might have seen that scene that I'm talking about then.
I definitely, it's in the first episode.
Yeah. But yeah, Game of Thrones for sure, and True Detective, which has been getting good reviews so far. I'm really excited for it. With
starting tomorrow, right? Starting tomorrow for us. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Damn.
Oh, for the time we record, it's shit. So it's hopefully it's already good and we're enjoying it.
It's actually already out, and we edit in how we feel about it right now.
Marshmallow killed it. That's all I know.
Marshmallow Ali just straight up murdered that shit.
He was in it.
Yep. He did things, and he did dick real good. He did dick real good.
You have a very narrow assessment of his name, JD. Hey, thanks. I'm good, right?
Bippity,
hey,
boppity,
bippity boppity.
Hey, all you
Here's
people
some
like
fried
chicken.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that line was hilarious. He's like, "Come on, all you people like fried chicken," and he's like, "Don't be so reductive."
Yeah, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't know if I can watch that one."
You really need to choose the words you're saying better. It's like, oh, dude.
So there's other ones that I have on my list. I have The Boys, which is it's an adaptation of a comic series or whatever. And it's like superheroes are totally legitimized, and there's like a legal corporation.
Oh yeah, you brought that one up.
And the Boys are a group of anti-heroes that are so anti-corporate and stuff, and they don't like the way those heroes are being run and stuff. And that's the premise. Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. That's another one of their babies. And I like their shows. I'm excited for Too Old to Die Young, Nicholas Winding Refn's show, which is eventually going to come out. Mm-hmm. Swear to God, that shit better come out this year. I don't want to wait another year without that show on Amazon. I just love that dude's work. I think it's like a gangster show, and I'm just all about it. I don't even care what it's about. Yeah. Veronica Mars is coming back. I love Veronica Mars. Suck it, haters. I don't know why you would hate it unless you haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it. What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh yes,
very excited for that on FX. Love that movie, and I know it's different cast, but except for like one guy,
Jermaine and
who cares though?
Wada Tatiki, they both they both wrote it or whatever, wrote multiple episodes of it. So.
Yeah, I think Taika directed it for sure.
Taika Waititi.
Hey, that guy's like funny and stuff.
Yeah, he's really funny. He's the dorky.
I don't know. I thought Thor being funny kind of threw everything off for me. So
yeah, I don't like how it was funny.
Yeah, it just really sucks when people like make you laugh. Doesn't it?
I hate how they're like, Thor is all of a sudden the funny character. I'm like, the first 2 movies he was trying to be funny, just no one could make him funny because they didn't know how to write for him.
Yeah,
right.
Like when he throws the mug down, he's like, I think I'll have another. Oh,
I need sustenance.
That's comedy. It's just not good comedy. Yeah,
it's typical fish out of water shit.
Anyways, this is our week-to-week episodes. We love to shit on Marvel now because we all like Aquaman. So
we are Aquacucks.
We're Aquacucks. Not that we liked Aquaman, it was just fine.
Yeah, it was,
which is good for DC.
It's just hilarious to me that Aquaman is trying for the humor in the way that Thor Ragnarok did, and it did not land it at all. And yet, at the same time, there are DCEU like cucks, obviously, tryhards. Big time fanboys that think that Thor Ragnarok is the worst one because it tries for all the jokes, and I'm like, did you just watch and love Aquaman? I'm sorry, I'm confused by your logic.
She eats the flower though. It's funny.
Yeah, she eats the flower, and there's like rom-com music playing, and it's really funny.
It's funny because she's never seen flowers before in her mini trips.
Also, bless the rains down in Africa. Pitbull.
I can't believe they did that.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, it just conceptually offends me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even need to hear it I mean, I've heard it now.
All you need to tell me
before I even watch a movie, I go, they should burn that with fire.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And if Pitbull could be around for that so he could get, like, nudged into that fire somehow, like...
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be fine
penance,
as well.
Penance for what you've done.
I literally know nobody that's like, dude, I fucking love
And
Pitbull.
like, why do they do that? They're like, hey, so in the movie, they're going to go to Africa. So what do we do? I don't know. We play Africa?
Play a song.
They're like, no.
We
but
can't do the original, though. Yeah, we have to make it our own.
The original. The rights are too expensive. We could buy the rights. We could have, I don't know, fucking Pitbull do it. Like, what was the conversation for that? Because, like, that was the only reason they had that song is because they were literally flying over Africa.
Yeah.
Right.
I wonder if they,
Aquaman,
if they like approached like real rappers. Africa, so. Sorry to not call Pitbull a real rapper, but I'm wondering if they approached a real rapper first before they were like, all right, fuck it, let's just get Pitbull to remake the song.
I guess we'll have to settle on Pitbull. It's either Pitbull or Lil Wayne, and
Lil Wayne said no. Fucking Macklemore said no. He has standards.
Definitely said no.
I will not tarnish Toto like that.
The Gambino definitely said no.
Yeah, Gambino was didn't even answer back. He just
Eminem just tweeted me a middle finger. I don't know what that is.
He goes, no, I'm doing Venom.
Eminem's got no room to stand on with that.
Yeah, I know, right? Songs. Venom. Which one is worse?
I already did my bad movie song of the year. So
I filled my quota with Venom.
Aquaman.
Venom. I'm gonna come at you with them. Venom. It's gonna be some pendulette. Venom.
Jesus Christ. All right, just a couple more. Watchmen. I'm excited for that to see what that take is.
I keep forgetting about this, and I really feel like an idiot every time it's brought up.
Jeremy Irons as Ozymandias is going to fucking kill it for me.
That's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah. And I love Damon Lindelof. I know that they're haters because of Lost, and I think he wrote some of Prometheus, but I'm pretty sure Ridley Scott fucked with that script.
Yeah, we all know who the problem is over there.
I know that because he's like, we don't need to make director's cuts for those movies because those are my cuts. I'm like, ooh, go fuck yourself.
Oh, wow.
You fucking arrogant piece of shit.
Wow. Oh, boy. Devs is the main one I'm most excited for, other than Too Old to Die Young. Devs is from Alex Garland. It's going to be an FX show starring the Asian woman we were discussing. And I think it's about Devs. Literally, it's like about like a gaming developer. I think, if I'm not mistaken. But it's an Alex Garland story, so obviously there's more going on.
He doesn't do anything smart or interesting.
No, never.
I can't recall.
Especially not like movies.
No, especially not one that came out maybe last year.
Yeah.
No.
Starring Nat
ringing a bell.
Yeah, Nat Port. Yeah. Oh, it's a miniseries too. It's not like a TV show, so it's just gonna be one and done. Nick Offerman's in it.
Oh, cool.
Allison Pill is in it. I don't recognize any other names though.
I know that. That's
Sonoya Mizuno Sonoya,
That's her name.
Yeah, that's her name. Japanese-born British actress. Quite the combo.
I love her so much.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna be talking about Annihilation next week. Oh my god, we're gonna talk about the shit out of that.
Are we gonna talk about that?
I watched it a second time, and I don't mean to surprise you guys, but I like that movie.
Hey, you guys, I don't mean to take you off guard, but that movie is pretty good.
Hey, I've literally seen it like 10 times, and so I fucking hate it.
Oh, okay. Good.
You had to really make sure, huh?
Yeah.
No, it's I've said it on here. It's like I showed it to people in my life one by one instead of in a big group. So I just watched it alongside every time.
One of those viewings, did you just stare at the person that you were?
Yeah. Oh, dude, with my dad. Yeah. When my dad was watching the final part of it,
I can't imagine my parents watching.
Literally just be watching him.
Yeah, I showed it to one person, and they're like, I didn't really get any of it. And as I was explaining it to them, I could just tell. I was like, "Oh, you were looking at your phone the entire movie, weren't you?"
Yeah. When you're explaining it, they're
when they start talking,
eyes.
like when they start explaining about like light refracting and DNA and everything, it's just like if you miss that and you don't like, none of the movie like makes sense.
No,
you know, so
it's
like it doesn't hold. So I'm just like, okay, so I'm actually never gonna show that movie to anybody ever again because it really fucking put me off.
Yeah, dude.
Because you have to watch a movie in theater, you know, like if you're not watching a movie in theaters, and I'm an offender of this too. Like if you're at home, like you're gonna pick that phone up, and like that movie.
Oh yeah, dude.
You can't miss any throwaway dialogue line in that movie.
Yeah, there's certain things that require you to do that. I think Annihilation requires your attention. Hereditary,
yes.
And then
Hereditary
like show-wise, like Mr. Robot, you can't miss fucking anything.
Yeah.
Like ever, period. Westworld, you damn sure can't miss anything. There's just certain things you just can't afford to pick up your phone over. Legion, I think, is another one.
Yeah,
so you're just completely lost when you look up from your phone.
Right.
You're like fucked.
And I had to rewind parts of that show multiple times while watching Legion because I would just automatically pick up my phone and Facebook, and I'd be like, I'd look up and they'd be in a different universe, and I'd be like, wait, what the fuck? All right,
and then you go back and watch, and
roll
you're
it back 15 seconds because in the span of 8 seconds, somehow they ended up in a different fucking reality or something, you know? Like,
but then you're still in the same spot where you still have no idea what's going on. You've just seen everything that you have no idea about.
Yeah, exactly. So I rolled it back. It's like, cool, I have it now, but I don't have any answers.
I don't know what to do with it. Yeah, Andrew got up and went to the bathroom during Annihilation during the scene about when Ventress and her are talking about self-destruction.
Yeah, that's super important to the theme of the movie.
Yeah, well, he came back and he's like, dude, what did I miss? And I was like, it was just a conversation about self-destruction and how it's the theme of the movie and everything, and it's really good. And oh shit, there's a bear, it's coming. Let's watch this. And he's like, fucking A, man, that was like, I didn't think I was going to be missing anything. We went back to go see it the next week just so that he could.
Oh wow.
Actually watch it. I was more than happy to join along and get my brain fucked with again.
Yeah. I can't wait to talk about that next week.
Yeah, we'll talk that one big time.
Oh, there's one more show I wanted to mention. The guy who created Simon Rich is his name. The guy who created Man Seeking Woman. I love that show. He's coming back with another one for TBS. It's called Miracle Workers, and it's Daniel Radcliffe plays like a person who is he enters heaven. It's kind of like The Good Place, I guess, but totally different. He enters heaven, and he takes on a job of answering prayers for people every day. And I think Steve Buscemi is God in it.
Oh, so, I've seen the trailer for this. Yeah, I've seen all that.
Yeah, I'm 100% in on it because of Man Seeking Woman. So I know it's going to be like all sorts of adorable and
you
clever.
Had Buscemi as God. That's the cherry on fucking top right there.
Yeah, exactly. And Daniel Radcliffe, he just doesn't do shitty things now, man. Like, I mean, he just doesn't. He's like, after Harry Potter, he's like, all right, I got to just do like something fucking weird now. Like, it's just his MO has just been totally different ever since he's like left the boy who lived role. Also, I don't know if everybody knew this. I think we might have covered it in the last episode, but it bears mentioning again that wizards used to like shit in wherever they were at Hogwarts and they just clean it up with magic. Yep.
You know what? American Vandals should have taken place at Hogwarts.
Yeah.
What that teaches me.
Who shit on the floor? Literally everybody.
Doesn't matter. Gone.
Is that a poop on my floor?
We are all the turd burglar. We are all the turd burglar. Yeah.
That's from Ted. That's my favorite line from Mila Kunis.
Is that a shit on my floor?
Is that a shit?
Yeah, Mila Kunis comes in, right?
Yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
All right, so next week is 2018 movies. That's the top 10 we're doing, and this week has been TV, and we're not There Is No Podcast. That was forever ago. What the fuck, Jeff? Enter Tournament Champions podcast. Find me at Jeff Whitty on Twitter, SWIDY, and EoC Pod on Twitter and Letterboxd, and we're all on Letterboxd actually. Find all of us.
Yeah, we're all there. Yep.
Thanks for listening.